see it indeed, Co. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Drop.
You'd love to see it.
I don't know what you said or who you were talking to, but the mics
we were talking about
hot.
the missing frame that always happens between transitions when we're starting up.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I thought I was supposed to be on the show with Co Carnage. Who is this guy?
This is Super Saiyan Co. right here.
Yeah. I get the more surface. I'm his bro Barnage from the West Coast. Hi.
Wait, are you English though?
No,
he's a surfer, man. Bro.
I don't think that's like I think that's like a English Australian terrible accent, regardless.
I was gonna say the real old Shady.
The real old Shady. Yeah, that could do it. Yeah, that could work. That could definitely.
It's been a week.
He's older than both of us. If I'm not mistaken, Eminem. I think he's 50.
How old is Eminem? He is 51. He's old.
There you go. Yeah.
Got us beat
by about 10 years. Hello, hi, welcome to Drop Frames. The clocks have changed, so we're like an hour early for European. When do their clocks change? You guys don't know this. I'm not. Who cares? Let's move forward.
I think they're 2 weeks earlier than us, I think. So they did it like 2 weeks ago.
So they've already changed. No. Chat's saying 31st of March. So
I feel like we should just yell time zone and then just move on.
Yeah, that's probably the appropriate thing. I thought this was supposed to be like, I thought the government was voting on this and we were going to scrap it. Did that not happen? Did Big Time lobby this or some shit? Like, what happened here? I'm not following the it got canned, it failed to pass. These motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I honestly thought like there's I think there's 1 or 2 states that don't do it.
Yeah, but that's because they're silly states and they adhere to their own. Isn't that like Arizona?
Isn't it like Nevada or
one of those.
Arizona, something like that. Yeah, Arizona. Yeah. And Hawaii. There you go.
They decided that banning TikTok was more important, so they're doing that instead.
They are. TikTok's probably going to get banned. Yeah, there's a high.
Well,
that's it.
That is important that TikTok gets banned because. Sorry, I was trying to do a cricket, but I can't whistle like that.
I was like, why is he a purring cat?
That's like a cat.
I heard a cat.
Is Zeke purring?
No.
It's all cat videos? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's because the noise gate cuts off the whistle. It just hears the percussive.
Yeah, there was no
hear
whistling.
the high pitched. Yeah.
No whistling.
It was just.
I got to turn my noise gate down.
You were just purring. Yeah, that's all you were doing. That's why I was really
to be
confused.
fair,
Co's got a bad surfer
time,
accent.
so.
You can't whistle and think a whistle sounds like a purr. I don't know. Dan, save us.
Is purring the new skirt?
Skirt. Bizarro world today, man.
Yeah.
Tell you.
It is. It is indeed bizarro world. Co, you dyed your hair. We should just address. I'm just gonna say that so people say, why didn't they go? Why didn't they address it for 3 hours? You just sat there with.
We did a charity stream last week. Zeke was cool enough to fly out. We had a big reveal, which was a lot of fun. Got probably more messages than I have on anything else I've done on the stream on that reveal, which was kind of fun.
Nice.
And yeah, we raised $185,000 for the American Heart Association in 4 hours.
Wasn't 86?
Super pleased. I think maybe 186.
Who's counting?
185
it's
yeah.
I'm counting. No. Like if there's a heaven and I'm going up there and like, oh, it looks like you raised 185,000. I'm sorry. Don't mean to nitpick, but it was 186.
Fair.
And then they're like, because that's good, because that actually kicks you right over the hell line, as we call it.
Yeah.
So welcome to heaven. That extra 1,000, man. I mean, it's meaningful.
I need every little thing I can get. You know,
everyone knows 185 is the hell line. Yeah, that's.
I always wonder that because like hell is supposed to be eternal damnation, so it's like, and you know, there's like people that like barely don't make it to heaven. So it's like, what happens to those? Like, my Lord, talk about just a life of frustration.
There's no. Hey, listen.
Do they sell boosters?
There's no barely.
I know, right? Can you buy a DLC maybe or like a cosmetic pack that gets a little like you put it on and
yeah.
There's no
I
barely.
don't know.
Wouldn't
It's either you're in or you're out.
well,
Kind of.
wouldn't
It's like a club.
what about purgatory
Oh,
though?
there's purgatory. I
Yeah.
thought purgatory was limbo.
Purgatory's
and
not a
you
real
didn't
thing, though.
get- no. Well, here's the thing. I thought purgatory was where you went if you weren't committed to one of them yet. It doesn't mean that you barely made it either way. It's that you haven't been assigned, essentially. At least that's what I thought.
Well, that's where all the unbaptized babies go. Is purgatory.
Okay, you know what? And we're done. All right, that's. We were already skirting the lines of this conversation, and that was it. Okay, and we're done.
Let's move.
Okay.
Forward.
Leave it to Zeke to spike the ball every time.
Moving on.
That's a great line. That's a great line. I like that. I'm gonna steal
I think
that.
it would have been better if right after Zeke said that, just all three of us just kind of silently got up and walked off the cast.
It wouldn't be the first time, and it won't be the last.
That's true. It is true. That is also true. Yeah.
Gotta
You know
maneuver
what?
that
I'm
mindset.
walking off. Fuck this. I thought I was here on the show for that reason exactly. That's like in my contract. It's
Maybe.
like you go ahead and say the shit that we're thinking, but no one wants to say, so we don't get embarrassed. But you go ahead.
I don't know if any of us were. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
viewers
I'm
were
kidding.
thinking
I'm
that.
kidding. I'm
Maybe
kidding.
the viewers.
Yeah.
The three of us,
Meanwhile,
though, no.
we get a glimpse at exactly how Zeke thinks today, which is interesting.
Yeah, it sets the tone for the entire show. It really, that's where we're headed. It's going to be a dark one.
Oh, I love it. I
The
love
lady
it.
and I have been rewatching Doctor Who because we kind of stopped at the Capaldi Doctor and we never went any further than that. So
Uh-huh.
we're like we're rewatching it and we're going back over it, and like when you said like a piece of my brain, like if you caught the whole thing, it would be like Doctor Who. Like there's so much bullshit in here. Like if you caught like what I'm really thinking in my head, your face would melt.
Oh, like an Indiana Jones face melt? It would be that thing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. You open my brain, it's like the Ark of the Covenant. It's just like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
I imagine
No,
your brain
yeah,
is
no
like
face.
one of those filters in a bunker that's like barely holding on, and it's just like holding back so radioactive waste, and like it's gonna go any second.
Fair.
Or meanwhile, Zeke, that's Zeke's brain, and Zeke is like the guy putting the code in Lost, trying to keep it all trapped in.
Oh, he's
like-
John Locke. Ah.
He's sitting there in the brain bunker, like trying to keep it all in with the code
4,
every day.
9, 11, 13, 14.
John Locke, yeah. Good references today. Good job.
Oh yeah,
Dan.
man, that's good.
Way to
Why is
go.
DF an hour early? Because you're in the EU and you're an hour late.
Yeah. Just classic EU. Classic E EU.
Yeah.
I love how multiple people in my chat immediately posted 4, 18, 15, 16, 23, 42. Like,
It's a
Pretty
beloved
impressive.
show. Yeah, it's a beloved
yeah,
show.
pretty impressive.
It's a good
Too
one.
bad the ending was terrible.
Yeah,
Speaking of
we don't talk
daylight
about
savings
that.
time, I told JP this. My
We
wife woke
don't
me up
talk outside the show, chat. That's not. I don't.
No, we do talk for about 5 minutes before the show, and that's enough for us. But no, we had our little 5-minute convo, and I said my wife woke me up this morning, and she goes, "Hey, I don't want you to be late for your show. It's daylight savings time today." And I look at the clock, and she goes, and it said 8 o'clock, and so that means it's 9 o'clock, and I'm like, I usually wake up at 9:30. Even with what you just did, you woke me up half an hour before I normally wake up.
She's
To
just
tell
trying to
me
be
that-
helpful.
Way to wake up on time. And then I stopped myself and I went, "Thank you. I love you."
Yep. Just go back to sleep. It's the proper way to do it.
It was a good effort. A+
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah,
That's right.
proper way to do it. Didn't have a show last week. Video games have come out. A bunch of games have actually come out. Not that much like big news. The video game industry continues to shut down studios and fire people, and that's all happening now. PlayStation was one of those. I don't think we talked about that. I think it was Insomniac, Naughty Dog, the technology, creative, and supportive teams all had people that were impacted by the reduction in workforce. And they also shut down the PlayStation London studio in its entirety. as well as reductions in Gorilla and Fire Spite. That's that. Over at is this EA? No, Warner Brothers is the culprit for this one. They are removing / delisting all Adult Swim games.
And not with the approval of the people that worked on them or made them.
Right. Yes. They as the publisher, they are delisting a large list of games. Some of these are no longer published by Adult Swim Games, so I think they're okay. It's kind of a little wishy-washy in terms of exactly what's going to happen. Duck Game is one of those. I know that will resonate with a lot of folk who
That was actually big on Twitch for a while.
yeah, that'll
I remember
resonate with
getting
a lot
like
of
a
people.
Duck Game promo package
Yep.
years and years ago.
Rick and Morty Virtual Reality. I think you played that, didn't you, Zeke? That's being delisted.
Oh, the VR Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Or one of them.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
there was multiple VRs.
Were there?
Yeah, I didn't do the virtual reality. I did a different one.
Yeah. There's a lot. The full list, at least that I'm looking at, is on delistedgames.com.
Well, a personal friend that I've met through Twitch, one Mr. Bean, was tweeting about it, about his Sound Dodger and that kind of stuff being delisted and stuff, and they're gonna take away all of, like, he can list it again, but that means he's starting from zero, meaning like all the reviews, all the forum discussions, like fucking everything that was associated with their Steam page is going to be gone, and he has to start from zero again. And that's shitty. That sucks ass.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, not good.
A hugely unnecessary negative hit.
Yeah,
That's the big thing.
did they exactly say why this was happening?
All I know is, for sure, that games on Steam can change publishers without it tanking Steam thing. Like that has definitely happened. So I don't know why they couldn't just remove a publisher from a game and then let it maintain its Steam thing. Very strange.
This
Are you looking up like why they're delisting, like what the
Yes.
reason is?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. What were we gonna say, Dan?
This is also the same publisher that decided that since Hogwarts Legacy, a single player game, did so well, and Suicide Squad did so badly,
Yes.
that they're gonna double down on the Suicide Squad type of game with free to play and
Yeah.
live service.
Yeah, we'll get to that. That's the next news story because that is also just silly. The full thing here. It was we asked Warner Brothers. We asked that Warner Brothers simply transfer the game to our Steam publisher account so that it can stay active. But so far they have said no, with the reason being that they made the universal decision not to transfer the games back to the original studios and do not have the resources to do so.
Wow, that's a like box corporate answer.
We don't have the resources to give you your stuff back.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's like 4 clicks, it's a lot of clicks.
Fuck me, man. Yeah, that was an update with an individual by the name of Matt Kane, who is part of Team 2-Bit, who created Fist Puncher, which has been on Steam since 2013. And he's asking that Warner Brothers give him, to transfer the game to his Steam publisher account. But that was the response that he got. So, yeah. And then as Dan brought up,
Oh wait, before that, do they know when the date is of that? Like they're doing that, or have they already done it? Or
would be delisted, quote, within 60 days. So
okay.
60 days, yeah. Whatever that, I guess, whenever they get the resources to do it, Zeke is really, yeah, is
I
probably
think that's
what
the
you can
safe
go with.
answer.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Dan brought up the Warner Brothers also discussing the, quote, volatile AAA console games, and that they will now lean into free-to-play and mobile Who said this?
CEO of Warner Brothers, I believe.
Yes, the Warner Brothers gaming boss JB Peretti. This was during a Morgan Stanley speaking event. According to GameSpot.com, who has this article, said, so the plan going forward, he said, is to help reduce volatility by focusing on core franchises and bringing at least some of them to the mobile and free-to-play space, as well as continuing to invest in live service games that people play and spend money on over a long period of time. This will help Warner Brothers Discovery generate more consistent revenue. He said, going on to tease that Warner Brothers Discovery had some new mobile free-to-play games coming this year. Also worth noting that it is just because Warner Brothers Discovery may push into new places, that doesn't necessarily mean it will stop making big single-player AAA games. So that probably means like Mortal Kombat will still make games, but they probably won't do any new IP. And they'll probably do like another Hogwarts Legacy, right? Because that was such a huge success. But new IPs, probably not, unless it's in the mobile or live service space. Because I think Suicide Squad was a pretty big failure.
It's already, what, 40% off?
Yeah, that was the big thing this week, is that it's they're already discounting it, which is like, that's not super rare, but
it's not super rare.
It
but
fits the
this
narrative
percent at this distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a game that supposedly, as a live service, you want to gain traction after your game comes out, not immediately lose it. It's a very bad sign for a live service game.
Yeah,
when you're discounting it this quickly.
Yep.
The all-time peak for that game on Steam for players was 13,000 players, like at its peak.
Yeah,
and now it's right down to 900 players, which is not what they were hoping.
That game was a failure before it was released, though. Like, it's wild. Like, it literally had like a negative PR campaign against it. I remember people that are fans of the IP were swearing it off before it was even released. So I mean, it was a pretty terrible situation.
I'm just curious who this game was for. Like, who were they making this for? Like, I wasn't fans of Batman games. Like, I can't see any connection there. It just
was even
so
wilder.
Different.
Not only who is this game made for, which is a fantastic point, but a very similar game, the Marvel version, just got closed down recently. So it's like they literally tried to remake that, and then and now it's not working, and it's just like, oh, what happened? Better lean into it.
Yeah. It is the only game where I've seen previews be so bad that they reversed an NDA that they had on closed beta testers that weren't like gaming journos, in hope that they could try to change the narrative to be more positive. I've never heard of a game do that before. It didn't work. I don't think that like people came out of that closed beta test singing its praises. So it wasn't adverse to what the people that had hands-on time with it in like a promotional sense, but yeah.
Well, I think they kind of panicked at the end, and one of the reasons being is it was before the game came out, it was literally being touted as one of the worst games ever created. Like it was so negative. And here's the thing,
wow,
it's not.
Sure.
Let me be the first to say it's not the worst game ever created. It's, especially when you start getting to the mission structure and items, because I ended up looking into this after my sponsor stream. Very uninspired, very generic. But I mean, it works. I played it for 2 hours. It's certainly not the worst game. I mean, there were almost no bugs, didn't crash much. I mean, yeah, it had some weird like motion stuff, and I'm not a big DC or Marvel fan, so I didn't really like grab the lore, but it wasn't terrible. It certainly didn't warrant the outpouring of negativity it got, which I found very interesting.
I played through I beat the whole story and got to the end game.
Yep.
To see what it was, and like I was having a good time in the story. Like, it wasn't the most creative, original thing ever, but the story cutscenes where you can tell they were made with like passion and they really liked it, and they were like pushing the story and stuff, and it was entertaining. And when you got to the end game, I'm like, I don't have any desire to do this planet 13 more times, like just to grind for whatever reason. Like they didn't have the hook there.
Yeah.
If it was a single player game made like with that in mind, where it was closed off, it like didn't have all this stuff attached to it, like it probably would have done okay. But unfortunately, they ruined it by trying to make it live service. It just did not work.
Yeah.
Great point.
It's always one of those things too where you will never know but I'm always curious to know what the resource allocation was for like the live service part of the game and what the resource allocation was for like the rest of the game and what that like did throughout the entire production process in terms of swaying back and forth. We'll never know that information, but it would be so interesting to see that kind of shift from time to time.
Also, the candid opinion of the team as they saw like the monetization stuff get in, and when they realized that all the work they were doing in the art and animation and VO and all that stuff was in this kind of like weirdly whitewashed, just random live service product instead of like something special and cool.
Yeah,
I can only imagine, man.
Wow, that's an amazing armor you created. We're gonna take that out of the game and put it into a paid service.
Right.
That
Oh,
that has
man.
to have happened, right? Like that definitely happens to devs. I wonder if that's is that like a badge of honor, but it like stings a little bit when they put it on you, where like you created something so good that they want to charge extra for it.
Oh man.
I don't know. I've never spoken with artists on that. Yeah.
I used to know a guy who told me who kind of worked sidelines on this stuff. He was a technical artist though. He didn't actually do the artwork. He did like the back end stuff to kind of put it all together and make sure for the characters and things. And he told me a joke that to this day, I was like, well, I haven't spoken to him in years, but the last time I talked to him, even to that point, it was never, I could never suss out if it was true or not. Because he kept on telling me like, I couldn't really tell you if it was, that kind of thing. What he said was in his profession, what they would do is, and he worked, I think it was at EA at the time, they would get all of they would have a set of things they needed to make, gloves, boots, whatever. And they needed, 7 of them. And they already knew beforehand how many were going to be DLC. And they would make their art. And then what they would do is they would workshop that on which players liked the most. And those would be the DLC items. Every time. Like, that's how they figured out what their DLC stuff was a lot of times.
Yeah.
Or they would purposely tell people, like, make sure this doesn't look that good. Like, save that, like, make, and they would basically, like, tell the art. They'd even send art back saying that looks too good. Like, save that for this set, which we're going to be charging for and stuff. Like, we don't want that to look, we want players to want this. Don't make that look too good. It's just like, some of the stories he told me were just,
oh yeah, that does not surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
And that sounds, unfortunately, that sounds completely normal.
Funny enough, the reason that we were having that conversation, because we were talking about the artists, and he said it puts them in such weird positions because they want to, of course, make their best work all the time, but they're being told, like, don't do that. Like, don't make that look quite that cool. Don't make that look quite that good. Like, we need a more muted aesthetic. And they're just like, okay, let me go back to that model I worked an hour on and make it look worse.
Yeah, let me shitty it up a little bit. Let's just
Great feedback. Thanks. Glad I did that.
Yeah.
I love that term. Like, could you go shitty that up a little bit?
Just shitty it up, man.
That's good. Shitty it up a little bit.
That's the technical term. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the business logo or lingo jargon.
Yeah. The other.
So I heard that. Well, not heard, but like I
and
saw
shitification. Two people said that back to back. I'm sorry.
The inshitification.
I saw like some stats from the Suicide Squad game and stuff like that, and they were comparing it to like other like DC, like mostly like Batman like stuff, and as far as how well received they were, is directly correlated to how few writers like the game had. Like the more writers, the less well received it is. Like the first Batman game had like 2 writers, and the second Batman game had like 3, and then they added more. So I there's something to be said about too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well, it's the whole like design by committee approach that people are shitting on these days. Maybe rightfully so, because regardless of if it's I think the argument is regardless of if it's a good or bad vision, it's a clear vision, right? And like it is not
a cluttered story.
Yeah, it's not. You don't have 30 people trying to chip away at something. It's like it's this, and that's the way it's going to be type deal, regardless of good or bad. So you see a lot of that in kind of every medium these days, unfortunately. The other last bit of I guess news kind of around Warner Brothers Discovery is they purchased Rooster Teeth, I think about a decade ago, maybe a little bit. I forgot exactly when. Anyways, they're shutting it down. Rooster Teeth is shutting down after 21 years. It's been kind of I don't know, a staple, I would say, of internet culture. I mean, red versus blue is like such a big deal for like online content creation, and what that is and what that represented. They also had, I think, a show called, I think it's pronounced Ruby, which is like their anime, and then also a
RWBY or whatever,
yeah,
right?
RWBY, yeah. And then they also had something called Genlock, which was Michael B. Jordan's animated mecha series. I don't know if that had come out yet or if that was still in the process.
Heard of that at all.
Yeah. They also have the Roost podcast network, which has a ton of different podcasts tied to that, as well as, is it 100? Yeah, approximately 150 full-time employees, and dozens of contractors and content creators out of work as well.
I did not realize that was a 150 people strong company. Jeez.
Yeah, they at one point I think they had 400 at like peak. Yeah, at one point, this is Variety.com reporting this. At one point, Rooster Teeth staff had ballooned to a head count of more than 400. So they definitely blew up for sure. Most of the, well, I shouldn't say most. I know some of the like original founders had already left the company a while back. Not that that means anything, just for the statistic of it. But yeah, they're shutting it down. There's a full memo to the staff if you want to read it from the 6th. I think they also did a stream recently.
Are they doing any type of like relocation thing, or are they just basically saying like, okay, you're all fired? Thanks.
Let's see if it says in this this memo to staff. Blah blah blah. So our announced recently shutting down to the challenges facing digital media, resulting from fundamental shifts in consumer behavior and monetization across platforms, advertising, and patronage. Please note the Roost team is not currently impacted by this action. The Roost Podcast Network will continue operating and fulfilling its obligations while WBD evaluates outside interest in acquiring this growing assets. In the coming days and week, we'll have many questions and answers and the opportunity to work together to implement the best way to wind things down for us and our community. We're working through what comes next in real time. We'll be as open, direct, and accessible as possible. Thank you all in advance for your patience and support of one another. Then that's it. Let's take a moment to celebrate our 21-year contribution to the zeitgeist, advancing creativity and outlasting many of our peers from the early days of online video and digital-first content. That's kind of a shitty statement. Guys, we outlasted everyone else. We're still shutting down. We outlasted them all, right? We had a good run. Right, guys? All right. I'm going to go to my yacht.
Hopefully.
Warner Brothers is having one hell of a week. This is like a TikTok video where like they fall down the stairs and they bump their head on the wall and they smack into something else. Like they keep falling and hitting on the way down. This is one hell of a bad PR week for them.
Yeah, they're getting it all out.
All this in a row.
They're getting it all out, I guess. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say on the Rooster Teeth closure. But for me, the biggest like, I guess, known property that Rooster Teeth had was Red vs. Blue. Like I used to watch that religiously. It's responsible for so much of my Halo fandom, I think, in the early days. I didn't watch any of the more recent stuff like Funhouse, and although that's not super recent. I never watched Ruby, or however you pronounce that. I went to an RTX once or twice. I don't know if you guys have ever been to RTX. It's like their Austin convention. I always walked around that thing because it was so fucking big. Like, how did this make money? And it didn't. It never made money at all.
Turns out it didn't.
It turns out it didn't.
Yep.
So, yeah.
That's the secret. It didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It never made money. So,
There you go.
I
Secret's out, I guess.
Yeah. So, not a good week, like Dan said, for Warner Brothers Discovery or the 150 or so full-time employees over there at Rooster Teeth. What else has happened?
Do you have anything slightly more lighthearted? We've been like depressing.
Well,
it's been
You know, something
let's,
slightly happy.
Dan, I'm
Hold
sorry
on.
we called you on for this
Dan,
one, man. This has been like
you know, you want lighthearted. Akira Toriyama passed away this past week.
Oh,
Come on!
dude.
damn.
You know, it's just really that's all I got,
Downer after
Dan.
downer,
It's,
man.
We're gonna have to rename the show "Drop Tears." Like it's just nonstop.
Oh man. Yeah, I you know, we're not a show that that talks about anime or anything, but it's kind of wild when you think about Toriyama and like how influential he was in so many different genres on like so many just grandiose levels.
Just honestly, the entertainment as a whole.
Yeah.
It's not
It's
like
wild.
there becomes a point when you become so well known in your chosen medium, be it film or animation or whatever it is, that you become cultural. I feel like Kojima is a good example of that.
Yeah.
And he definitely had attained that status.
Absolutely. Yeah. Responsible for all the art and Chrono Trigger, Dragon Quest. I mean, he drew pretty much every like he created the slime in Dragon Quest, which is one of the most well-known like monsters in video games. Obviously, Dragon Ball Z is one of the biggest things, I think. For pretty much every single person watching this knows who Goku is, right? Like, I would be very surprised if someone's like, I don't know what a Saiyan is. I don't know what any, even if you never watched the show.
I'm sorry, what's a Goka?
Yeah, what's a Goka? The thing I saw going around a lot, that was like the people I think were using to like resonate with people not aware of who Akira Toriyama was. When Dragon Ball episodes would come out in Mexico, the cartels, it was actually reported and studied that violence would drop significantly because the cartels would watch the Dragon Ball on those days. And that's not like a meme. That's like,
Hey.
it's like been studied.
How good his show. That's how good his stuff was.
That's
It
how
was
like
amazing.
big it
Yeah.
was in Mexico and Latin America. It's massive. It just worldwide. There's so many different messages and comments that's a billion people within and outside of the like anime world had. I think the Prime Minister of France like tweeted out. Is it Prime Minister? I don't know what type of government they have over there.
King.
The King of France. Let's go with that. He had like a hand-drawn Dragon Ball thing that he had signed that he tweeted out. The president. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I don't know what your government is. Sorry. Yeah, it's a huge deal. It was. I didn't
think it's
expect it.
Overseer.
Overseer,
Overseer.
Overlord, overseer, same thing.
Overseer
Lord
Macron.
Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
Or-
Mm-hmm.
Lord Emperor Macron.
I think it's
God
the hors
Emperor
d'oeuvre
Macron.
of France.
Yeah, so it sucked. You know, I think I watched Dragon Ball every day after school on old Toonami. That
I
was
love those 4 frames.
yeah, that was sick. You know, you get home and watch 30 minutes, you get upset. Nothing fucking happened, and then you do
Not
it
a
again.
damn thing.
The next
Literally
day.
just showed 5 people, and every single time it was just 2 different frames with their mouth open that would just go as the person screamed.
And it
and I
was
loved
sick. It was
was
so
awesome.
It was fucking
So
awesome.
good.
Yeah,
So good.
it was badass. It was good. It was good.
It did make it so when
Never
something actually
seen-
happened in an episode, it was like, oh, he actually fired his thing off.
Yeah,
Whoa! Like it became like a moment. You want to call your friends and tell them.
absolutely. Yeah. Burger
I've never seen a single episode of Dragon Ball. I'm
Really?
sorry. Yeah. I don't know. Not because I'm obstinate against it. It missed me.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but it just yeah.
But you know who like you know what a Super Saiyan is. You know what a Goku
You know what a
is.
Goka is, right?
I know what Super Saiyan is. It's when you go like ballistic, right? Where you're like, "Rah!" Like
And then this happens.
Well, Zeke, it's when the power level. Yeah, and then your hair goes blonde. Yeah, like Co.
right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But I know
I
I
tried
know these
watching it.
names. These are names that I know. I know, Goku and Vegeta. Like I know these names.
Yeah.
I can't. if you told me to put a name with a face, I couldn't do it.
I'm the same as
That's
you,
fair.
Zeke. Like, I tried to watch, but like, if you watch in the middle of the show, like, I have no idea what's happening. I don't know who people are. It's really like I would have to start at the beginning and like go through because I tried to watch it so many times, but I couldn't. I just couldn't
Yeah.
understand what was happening most of the time.
Yeah. It would be I don't know if it would hit the same way that it did as like a teenage kid when it came. The funny thing is that Dragon Ball for so many nerds became a like pathway or gateway to go to the gym because they wanted to get ripped like fucking all the Super Saiyans. There's so many people that I know that just like, yeah, I started working out because Dragon Ball, right? Like that's why. And then even outside of that, I think we can all, you know, Chrono Trigger is probably in the top 5 for all of us in terms of just some sort of list, best, most influential, fondest game, whatever you want to put in there, right? Like he's one of the big 3 of that, and created all the characters for it. So, and Dragon Quest as well. Without Dragon Quest, JRPGs wouldn't really exist in the form that they are. And he's responsible for all the art there.
I'm playing a game like a Dragon Infinite Wealth that is wildly and overtly inspired by Dragon Quest. They even say it many times.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So a very very tragic news with Toriyama passing away. And also not
How old was he?
He was young. And it wasn't something that was expected as well. It kind of came out of nowhere. He was 68.
68.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
young.
man. And were they public about the reason?
They were. I want to make sure I get it correct. A acute subdural hematoma. So likely he hit his head on something. I mean that's essentially what that is.
Injury.
Yeah.
Bummer, man.
Yeah.
That could have been a lot of things.
Yeah. Just kind of seems like it came out of nowhere. Wasn't expected. Not a just not, there's no positive there. But damn, that's the last negative thing I have.
Okay.
Okay.
We front loaded the show with negativity, 49 minutes of it. And now we could start with the positive stuff, I think. Ghost of Tsushima.
The Final Fantasy's awesome.
Yes, also, Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PC finally. Feel like we've been waiting for that game forever. That'll come out on May the 16th. Is anyone going to do a full playthrough of that?
Probably at some point, because that game was gorgeous on PS4, running at 30 FPS. I can't wait to like max out at 4K and like have all the settings cranked up. It's going to be stunning. A stunning game. It's just such a fun game too.
Yeah.
It was one of those games you did not mind 100%ing it. It didn't even feel like you're 100%ing it because it was just so much fun while you were doing it. It's just amazing.
Did you play the DLC?
No, I never did. So it'll be a good way to go back it. Yeah.
I was gonna say heard good things.
Yeah, the DLC is fantastic. I mean, it's more of the same, right? Like they don't do much different, but it's still phenomenal.
And may I really quick echo like everybody's chat because I have 3 chats open.
Okay.
Give us Bloodborne, you cowards!
Yes, please.
Yeah, I feel like that's a Summer Game Fest, Keeley 3, whatever you want to call it, type deal. That's like a one more thing announcement.
Yeah. I want the team that did Demon Souls to do that.
That's
like completely remake.
Exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
Nixies, I think, is that? No, that's not right.
Yeah.
Is that
Demon
right
Souls
team?
is one of the best remakes ever made.
Chad, is that
Amazing.
the same team? Oh no, Blue Point. Blue Point.
Blue
Okay.
Point.
Got it. Yeah, Nixies is the team that worked on this, and they've done a bunch of the other PC ports. But yeah, Blue Point is the remake. I don't know what they've been working on, or if it's been public about what they're doing or porting or whatever.
Have you gone back and played any like of the older Souls games at 30 FPS like anytime lately in the past couple of years?
God no.
I did. I went because it was a 100-month game for my buddy Faustus. He had a 100-month sub and he was like, play some Bloodborne. I was like, fuck yeah. And I went and played. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is I was like, it's not gonna be that bad. I play old games all the time. It's like, but you don't play old Souls games all the time, and it is noticeably different. You're just like, I feel like I'm fighting in molasses. What is this? This is horseshit.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll that conversation I think will come back when we talk about Final Fantasy, at least for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that is the exact feeling that I have about that as well. Zeke.
I replayed Dark Souls 1 recently.
Yeah.
Had the same feeling. It just felt like everything is so slow compared to the modern stuff. Like it was everything took longer, everything fought longer. It was so slowed down.
Well, it's all input lag, right? Like that's what it comes down to is with 30
Yeah,
FPS.
it was on
there's
like
input.
PS3, so
Yeah.
it was like old school.
For me, it's a frame rate. The noticeable choppiness of the frame rate makes everything less enjoyable.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Especially with fast movements.
Sure. Dan, I lied. Nintendo shut down Yuzu.
That's
Oh,
it.
wow.
I'm out of here. Bye.
They're done. They settled for I think 2.1 or 2.5 million before it went to court because they were pretty much like, yeah, we're gonna get fucked. They decided just to settle. Yuzu, for those that are not aware, was basically a Switch emulation on not Switch. On the PC, essentially. You could play different games at higher resolutions, blah, 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 blah. Not the only one out there, but I think it was like the most popular. It was like open source as well to some degree, if not fully. And they were going to court, and they settled outside of court before they could, I think, even get into discovery. Because apparently they were just like, yeah, this is not going to go our way. And they...
Wow.
Shut it all down, 2.4 million. I think there's already another like thing called Suzu or Suyu, which might be a thing.
No. Sue you is what Nintendo's doing.
I think
Yeah.
I think it honestly is called Suyu. I think that yes,
That would be-
it's actually called Suyu. Yeah.
What are they thinking?
But who knows
personally
if that'll
think-
actually be completed. So
I think it's
Are
a little.
emulators in and of themselves are they like illegal, or like in most places like they're not?
not a lawyer. It gets gray.
Okay.
It's not illegal
I
to
honestly I have no idea.
yeah, it's not illegal to emulate software if you have already bought it. But I'm not a lawyer, so don't take anything that I'm saying is finite.
No, that's exactly the reason why I haven't looked into it, because I'm like, I heard from a person who heard from a person that if you own all the hard copies of everything, you can emulate away. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like if you own the console and the game and all the hookups you get, like I could play it on this shitty system that is proprietary, that's theirs.
Yeah.
Or I could play it at 60 FPS 1440p with this little helper.
Yep.
I believe there was a lawsuit that established that emulators are legal as long as the customer owns the game that they're playing on, and they're not charging for the emulator. But I believe this emulator was charging for stuff inside of it.
They had a
which is what got them
Patreon,
in
yeah.
trouble.
Okay.
They had a wildly successful Patreon.
Okay.
That when Tears of the Kingdom came out, it blew up. It just exploded in popularity and income, and it happened before Tears of the Kingdom came out. So
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do
Nintendo
it.
was probably like, "What the
What?
fuck?"
And it has to be embarrassing that
They were making
The best way to play your
$30,000
game
a month.
Yeah,
it's on an emulator. Like
Okay.
yeah.
the emulator looks so much better than the Switch for
Yeah.
every game. Must be embarrassing for them.
I think that was, I want to say that was part of the lawsuit, is that before the game came out, there was so much footage of it running on Yuzu that it, like, people were upset
Oh.
that they were buying the product. And it didn't
Also,
look
you
like
had
that.
streamers on day 3, day 4 that were streaming from emulators on Twitch.
Sure.
And
Yep.
of course, you know, they were talking in fact one of the biggest streamers was talking about how he, since playing on the emulator, he could barely play on his Switch anymore. So
Mhm.
like it became a big thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just I just got my Switch. I have it over here, and I just got it out, and I just want to confirm. Yep, still shitty.
Absolutely.
Oh
It is
man.
years behind anything that's out today. Like literally, it's terrible.
Hey, I heard from someone on a post on a Reddit post that any day now the Switch 2 is getting announced. Any day, like
Yeah.
it's
The
articles and stuff's gonna happen.
the tech rumors I think are now it's been pushed back to early 2025, but sooner than later.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. What else?
Good
do we have?
news, JP. Good
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
Is there any good news?
I mean, do you guys want to read the open letter from Twitch CEO Dan Clancy about
Is that gonna be good news though?
about 2024 and their plans for it?
Sure. Let's
Uh,
go.
I don't know if it's good news. It's not bad news. It's just
I actually haven't seen it. When did it come out?
what's the date on this? March 6th, so 4 days ago.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a nothing burger.
I haven't heard much about it, so there must not be much in it.
Yeah, there's
I was
not.
gonna say nobody really came by the stream saying anything incendiary, so
Yeah. There's not much in here.
Well, it's shit that like is in one place that we know that Twitch and Dan Clancy have been saying like in pieces here and there. It's as far as I like what I've read of it, it's like, hey, collaboration is the thing.
Yeah.
How about guest star? And you're just like, man, you are slamming, you're banging that
Zeke,
drum.
it's not
That-
called
that's
guest
Stream
star
Together.
anymore. It's called
Yeah,
Stream
Stream
Together.
Together.
Yeah.
My bad.
It's
Sorry.
Stream Together, Zeke. God.
I'll send you another copy of that memo, Zeke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like for people who are getting started on Twitch, up and coming, whatever you want to call them, like sure, that's great. But like for people like us that have been doing this a while, it's just like there's nothing in there for us. Like we figured that shit out long ago and figured out what we wanted.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like for us, collaboration is fun for a little, like for every once in a while. But like for the most part, it's like this is my channel. I do my thing. You know?
Yeah. When you
Absolutely
play with
right.
a bigger people can feel like overcooked or keep bumping into each other and like keep so it's nice to have like a collabs and solo content.
Yeah.
Well, and
Nice
also
mix of
like
both, yeah.
I'm sure it's the same for you guys. Like I feel like every like after and during every like collab, like anything, I have to like mute myself to everybody that I'm playing with and go,
Oh yeah.
hey guys, sorry about the low interaction, but I'm talking to these guys who are in the game when I normally would be talking to you, which is kind of like a lot of the reason people come out is so the streamer interacts with you.
Here's
Yeah.
the big thing though, and this is one of the reasons that I very rarely do collabing, and when I do, it's with people that either know exactly how my stream is or they're extremely chill streamers themselves and just kind of get it. And that is when you're streaming collab, if you are an interactive streamer, that is akin to having two conversations going on at once with people that can't hear each other that are both focused on you. And that is a very weird and uncomfortable position to be in because you want to interact with both of them. And what that constantly means is that you have two different people talking and they can't hear each other. So like if you're collabing with somebody, let's say I'm playing with Zeke and Zeke starts talking to me in my headset while I have him muted or myself muted to him and I'm responding to someone in chat, that means that I'm not hearing him. I have to stop my thought to chat. I have to unmute that, finish chat, respond to that, go back to chat, see if that's still what I'm responding to. You know, it's so unnecessarily annoying and it makes the stream disjointed. That's the worst part. Watching a stream like that, as I have many times, it's weird because you can tell the person is like trying to deal with like trying to spin multiple plates and it doesn't feel good. Now it's fine if the streamers and collabers just ignore chat or only respond to like one or two word things every few minutes.
Yeah.
But like when you're with somebody who talks to your chat a lot, it starts to feel weird, especially when people are saying things you want to respond to, when you can't respond to them, when you can't talk to them. And it's just, you know, unless you're co-op with somebody who is very understanding of that, then it's just strange.
Yeah.
It's not a normal fun situation.
And to, I think, expand on what you're saying, it also comes down to your audience expects you to interact with them, where other streamers' audience who do collab a shit ton don't expect that interaction. And so, yeah.
And it makes it even weirder when you collab with people who normally just do a lot of collabing, because then they're expecting you to talk more to them or to focus on them, which is totally understandable. That's when you hang out with somebody.
Yeah.
Expected you hang out with them, right? But that, again, kind of throws the whole thing on its head when you're an interactive streamer. So, you know.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing collaborations with anybody with a sizable audience, like trying to fucking keep up, like because it says like you can merge chats and stuff like that. Like if all four of us merged our chats, there's no fucking way any of us would be able to keep up with anything.
You'd be able
now, wait,
to.
Are they
Madness.
merging chats or are they doing a new group chat?
So that's the thing.
'Cause the new group chat, I think, could be very cool.
We're
but
making it
merging chats
easier.
would be different.
We're making it easier and more intuitive to get set up and to spontaneously find and collaborate with other streamers on Twitch. I want to talk about that in just a sec. We're also adding ways to merge chats and combine viewership so you can create unique and fun cross-community moments together with other streamers.
So there is a world where that could be awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because if you are collabing with, you know, if you're playing Valheim with 3 other people and you want to interact with chat, and you're wanting the 2 people that you are also grouped with want to interact with chat, that's a magical situation, because then you're all reading the same chat and you all know what you're all responding to. And most importantly, when one of those streamers starts talking to chat, the others can just look at chat and see exactly what they're talking to, and they're part of the conversation, instead of it being that weird, like, separate 2 different things going on at once situation. So that could be awesome. I do like the idea a lot better of there being an additional group chat, though. Because you know there's going to be people that don't want to be in any type of merged chat ever.
Sure.
That's just the type of person they are. You know, the Twitch chat is their home. It's their IRC chat room. You know, that's where they want to be. So the idea of that disappearing
people
is a
like
little weird.
like you have rules for your chat, like, and I have way less like that. Like, people are going to be saying like twat fart on my chat all the time, and I don't want that shit in your channel. That's disrespectful. And I'm being serious.
No,
I have to sick my ninjas on them, and that's just unnecessary and requires a lot of dealing with cleanup, and it's
a hard problem.
I love that's how the first word you came up with was twat fart. That was great.
I usually have I have a hat in my mind, and I pull out 2 nouns, like put them together.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense, actually.
I want to read this sentence here. We're making it easier and more intuitive to get set up and to spontaneously, like, I took a breath here because this just gives me so much anxiety, and to spontaneously find and collaborate with other streamers on Twitch.
Okay, now hold on. That is actually amazing if they make it so you can make groups.
What do you mean by
I have
group?
to say, if I could make a group of all my OG streamer buddies that I would like to collab with.
Oh, okay.
And then I would be able to then have that little group on Twitch. And then I could set my status to, sure, I'll play with any of you that want to. And then I go play Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
And then you fire up your stream and can click on a thing and see like, oh, there's Co. His status is looking for co-op. You know, you click a button, request co-op.
Yeah.
And then like everything just happens.
That would be great.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we have entire Twitter groups set up for that stuff, and it's a huge pain in the ass because every time, hey, you guys want to play tonight? Oh, okay, next time. What about tonight? Anyone? And it's just like
it's pain in the ass.
It's pain in the ass. Total pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So if that were to be integrated, take it a step further, they were to take a system like that, plug it into the dev. So it's like you join up in a system like that, it sends out a Steam invite or something. You know, like that could theoretically be.
That would be great. Cool. Yeah. I think they want it to be like, is it Omegle, where you just like click start and then it shows you all the streamers. Omegle's where it just connects you to another group, but they're saying where it's like there's not a group. It's all of streamers. I
was thinking of the adult site, but I don't think it's that one. Okay.
That would be so cool. Like for those games where you can't really talk to chat as much, like Helldivers, where you got to like be in the game and talk to your teammates a lot. The chat could entertain themselves by talking between the different chats to each other. It would be like a little more entertaining. They could meet people they never met before. It could meet from other communities. And
It'd
stuff.
be like those high school functions when the high schools from across town like
keep
have
me
a
out
thing,
of it.
and then they talk to each other, and it's like,
Get me out
and
of
then
that
they don't
shit.
know you're the fucking fat nerd from that other school, and then
Get
But the
me
real
out of
question-
that shit.
talk to you and like you and stuff. That's
The real question though is who's gonna ask who to dance first?
Yeah, no, we don't need to have that. That's
Who's gonna like that's
I don't need
line
that
them up on each
conversation
side
in
of the
my
gym?
day.
Is that what we do? Like which how do we
No, nope.
No, okay.
We're stopping that line of discussion. What else in here was? I mean, all of this stuff is stuff that they've said before. This one is a little bit more, I guess, granular. It says an option to export clips directly to Instagram. Do you guys even have an Instagram account?
I have a team.
It's there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not doing so well.
Yeah. I think that's the answer to. It's what I expected.
TikTok is where it's at, man.
Yeah.
You got to get on the TikToks.
That's correct. That's correct. Improving the Twitch mobile experience, kind of just like saying we're redesigning the mobile app. This will be the first major update since 2019. They're basically, speaking of TikTok, they're turning it into that. The discovery feed, which will be a scrollable feed of live streams or clips with filters to help you quickly see from the latest streamers you follow and discover new content.
That'll be
even when
big.
you have only a few minutes to spare. Yeah, that could be.
That'll be cool.
That'll be hopefully
That's something
a
we've
big
been
deal.
asking for a long time.
Yes,
Pretty much since they've been invented on other sites.
yes. I mean, that's TikTok feeds are exactly what they're going for, where it has clips, and then every once in a while there's a live stream in there, and if you remain on that live stream feed long enough, it transports you automatically over to the full live stream.
A very big thing that that like TikToks and other services do is that when a person's going live, they'll record like the video to go live, which is kind of like what you're talking about. And that video is something that they're kind of doing with stories. Like I've noticed a lot of people are using that for stories.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, I'm going live now and stuff like that. So I wonder if that was kind of the impetus to get everything just, they got the story thing going, realizing nobody's using it, but everyone knows what they want it to be. And they're just like, fine, we'll just do that. Like, fine, we'll just give you what you want.
TikTok has this really cool feature now where you can stream in vertical and horizontal at the same time, and people can swap between them.
Is it you just change your phone?
seamlessly? Like you
You
just
just
press a
full stream
button
it.
and it switches between you're basically streaming twice, but it just counts it as one stream.
Nice.
It'd be nice if Twitch would allow you to stream vertical for like the mobile app, and then like people want to go horizontal, they can.
Yeah.
That would be really nice to put those streams into the feed that they have going on.
Yeah.
Dude, the more options, the better. No question.
Absolutely. We want to make it easier for viewers to support their favorite streamers on mobile. To do this, we're rebuilding the way users can purchase subscriptions, gifts, and bits to create a better experience on mobile devices. Also make mobile-specific improvements to features like Hype Train so that they're still optimized for mobile. Yay!
One day we'll get custom emotes in Hype Train.
One day. Zeke, this might apply to you. You were talking about how it needs to apply to the old guard. Finally, one of our mod tools have been available on desktop only. A real limitation to keeping your community safe. Our mod tool should be flexible, easy to use, and move with you. Latest variable plan to roll out mobile mod view to iOS, which will make it easier to mod from wherever you are.
my mods don't do shit, dude. So,
Okay,
like,
all right.
they do exactly as much work as I pay them for, which is nothing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Helping you make more money. With past year, we made a number of changes to help you make more money on Twitch. We launched the recently expanded Plus program to give qualifying streamers higher revenue shares, which helped triple the number of streamers earning premium revenue shares. We also made the ads and Stitcher program more flexible and easier to manage and created new display ad formats and improved tooling to make the ads experience less disruptive. We've created a sustainable and transparent framework for streamer compensation and that will expand upon this in 2024 to help you reach your goals.
I really wish they were more transparent with this stuff.
Specifically what?
Specifically, they say helping you make more money.
Sure.
Over the past year, we've made a number of changes help you make more money on Twitch. Yeah, they've also made some significant changes that's going to reduce our income.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that what they've done to reduce it could counteract like significantly everything in that paragraph.
Yeah.
To not even like mention that or talk about it, like that section should have been, you know, helping us balance money income or something. Like be transparent with the community. Don't just lie and say that you're giving us more money. No, you're taking money and you're also giving money.
Yeah.
But be open with us. Make this a journey that we're a part of instead of the recipient of, you know, your goodwill from Faceless Corporation 01.
Right.
I'm gonna
It's like-
give you $10,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna take
It's
20
just-
from you.
It's so disingenuous to do stuff like this and not mention the fact that they're also, you know, taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from their streamers with the stuff that they're changing with the Prime program and all sorts of other stuff. So
Yeah.
this is
And
one of those failures of PR that's very
it's-
unfortunate with Twitch.
I mean, we've had conversations. I've had multiple conversations with a ton of different streamers. Like when all those changes come in June, it's most likely going to be a pretty significant income drop across the board.
Even in the best case, Prime subs are dropping by $0.25 a piece.
Yeah.
And think about, and that's in the best case, let alone, I mean, in many cases, they're dropping by $1 or more. And Prime subs are the majority of streamers' income. So it's kind of like, this is going to be a huge
Yeah.
hit across the board. Possibly
there's a lot of
millions of
streamers-
dollars.
They hit that goddamn button.
Oh yeah, they made that button harder to find now. It's under
Wait,
like
really?
Couch the
it's,
Prime button.
it's like
in
under
some
2
of the-
additional clicks. When you go to like
Did they?
I forget. I think it's like subscribe to the channel, and then it pops up, and it's like $4.99, and then there's a drop down or something to use Prime.
Are we going to have to start making like Prime tutorials for our viewers?
Yeah.
So first you have
We-
to click
we
here,
did that when it
enter
first
the
came out,
secret-
so that's
enter the
nothing
secret
new.
key phrase, click on this, drag the dot across the right side, do that, do the CAPTCHA, and then that'll give you the option to Prime sub.
Yeah,
Secrets
so-
Twitch don't want you to know.
My chat's saying they moved it from the resubscribe button to a drop down. You have to click elevate your sub, and then it's a checkbox in small text. So they are definitely trying to
That's
like,
mis-fucking leading.
yeah, they're trying
I
to
don't
Because
obfuscate
have-
elevate
that.
your sub means like go tier 2, tier 3. Not
I don't
Prime
have-
sub. That's not elevating your sub. That's just subbing.
I don't have the exact quote or the exact numbers, but there is a very famous, and I think Steve Jobs actually kind of talked about it when he came up with the original iPhone interface, where research has shown that for every subsequent action after the first, when going to try to find or access something, the amount of people that will actually do it drop off by massive double-digit portions.
Yeah.
So it's like the more clicks you put features behind, the more things a person has to do to get to a place to access a certain type of information or function, dramatically the less they will do it based on the more actions or clicks. Watch Prime subs over the next couple years. And I bet you this is the start of that exact thing, where it's like they're every little tiny, seemingly innocuous barrier they can put between people using their Prime sub and actually using it. I bet that's just going to go up or become less intuitive, less, you know, and eventually it's just going to be like a slow phase out.
Yeah.
And
I'll
coupled
tell
with
you
all the
this,
other
like,
changes they're going to make with it.
I'm gonna
Nudge
ask
theory. There you go.
my my IT or my bot experts in the chat
Yeah.
to make it so I know you're a Prime sub, so I know you're not a real sub from now on.
Wow.
I'm gonna make it so I can see you in chat and treat you accordingly.
Wow.
No, it does raise an interesting thing. And this is something that I've talked with other streamers, including some on this panel, about, where Twitch is going to be fundamentally altering streamer income. So does that mean when somebody subs to our channel, you are going to tell us the value of the sub as it comes in? Because it's going to make a huge difference if somebody drops 500 subs from the States or 500 subs from Turkey.
Yeah.
Because one of those, every sub is worth $2.25, and the other, every one of those 500 or 100 subs is worth 9 cents. So a streamer is going to need to know immediately, not later, not at the end of the month on their paycheck where they have to click 5 things. They need to know immediately the value of that support coming in. So
Or like
how is Switch going to deal with that? A subathon, absolutely.
Oh,
Subathons,
subathons are
like,
dead come June.
We're gonna have to have like a Ubisoft style chart of pre-order bonuses to figure out, what country gets what value. Turkey is
Also,
on this chart.
Dude, here's another interesting thing. Anytime a streamer goes to their dashboard, they have subs and they have sub points.
Yeah.
And the entire point of the sub point system was that streamers would be able to know exactly what their income is. Because a tier 2 sub would be worth 2 sub points. A tier 3 sub would be worth 5 sub points. But so we could look at our sub points. The whole point of that number is that streamers could know exactly how much they were making. This completely ruins the entire sub point system.
Yeah.
Because now a normal point on that could be a 2.25 sub or a 9-cent sub. And we have no idea how to tell which is which. And they haven't told us anything about how we're going to be able to do that. So it's like, it starts to get to the point where you're like, is this legal? Is it legal for a company to do this and not divulge the income that the contractor is making on their platform?
Yeah.
I think there's some kind of, because I mean, at this point, Twitch could just lie to us. Like they could just turns out every one of your subs was from Turkey this week.
Yeah.
How crazy
There's
is
gotta
that?
have to be a
All of your
breakdown.
subs are so it's like, how are we supposed to be able to at least like view or see, or like, it's such a weird situation. We're going to have no way to confirm any of it.
Yeah.
So,
well,
I really hope that there's a much more fleshed out thing. This has raised so many questions.
For viewers' sake, just so you guys understand, right now how it works in terms of our analytics in the background is it'll just say Prime subs and then tells you how much you earn specifically from Prime subs. And it'll say, normal subs, specifically what you earn from that, ads, specifically what you earn from that. It doesn't like, we want to be able to click into that and then have a breakdown of like, the reason you earned 30 cents from your 1,000 Prime subs is because they were all from Turkey.
and just for the record, we have nothing against Turkey. They just happen to be the most cheap
we pick on Turkey because they're the cheapest
we pick on Turkey because they're the cheapest sub.
And it's delicious.
But
One sec. Why can't they hear me?
Okay. Oh wait, no. Stream is saying okay. So now we can't hear you.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
But the
correct.
stream can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Frankly, this is great. We could just do the show like this.
I see what you're saying.
Now I can finally tell JP what I really think.
Better.
There we go.
There you
Okay,
go.
we can hear you. We can hear you. You're back. You're back. We're good.
Cat?
hold on.
We're back. Yay.
Check.
Did a cat chew through something?
Is that
Now we're
better?
echoing. Now there's a double echo
No, there was double me.
according to chat. And now you're gone. We cannot hear you anymore.
Son of a.
Aren't audio problems just the best? Especially when they happen
Amazing.
live during the show.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my god, dude. I feel so bad for JP. We've all been there. We've all
I
been there.
know.
And the best part was, what started this was absolutely nothing. Just sitting there, and all of a
Yep.
sudden it stopped working. So there's nothing you can troubleshoot. It just stopped.
Let's get some hearts in chat for JP because he handles all the producing on the show, so we
Oh.
don't have to. It's great.
Yep.
So
That's very
yeah,
nice.
hearts for JP in chat.
Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for someone else doing it, I would just play games all the time.
Is that better? I think we're
we
fixed.
hear you.
I think we're fixed.
Okay.
Okay.
We can hear
All
you.
right. Yeah,
We're
Dan,
good.
your fucking dad joke about turkey killed the audio. So
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
the turkey
What?
sub joke, it was laying there. It's been laying there the whole time. And I'm like, someone pick this up and eat it because I can't do it. I do it all the time. And Dan, you grabbed
were
it, and that was the high
DMCA'd my
five
turkey.
part of the high.
So, out of curiosity, considering you didn't seem to do anything before it happened, what happened?
I think the Rodecaster Pro just blipped, and so I just rebooted it and then killed the audio device going to you guys and added a new
Damn.
audio device real quick.
Thanos.
You are the third person in the last week who has had Roadcaster issues randomly.
Well, let's not call it an issue. Let's just hope that it was a that it was a once in a thing.
You were the third person this
No,
week whose
don't-
Roadcaster started to die on them.
Don't
permanently.
you put this hurt on me.
Yeah, it's terrible. Worst part is you can't drop in a new one, and it's horrible.
Yo, the worst
like
part is
hours
I'm not
and
gonna
hours
make
of-
enough money because Twitch is taking it from me because they're not gonna know what the Prime subs are worth, so I can't buy a new mixer. It's fucking unbelievable. Anyways,
Sucks
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Just
Uh,
make more money, JP. God.
I know. This was also another weird thing. This whole thing was very strange to me, ultimately. In 2023, we built channel skins, sponsored discount subs, host read ads, and more. We got great feedback on our pilot sponsorship activations from both brands and streamers. In 2024, our focus is on expanding the number of brands we are working with and bringing new sponsorship opportunities to more streamers. I feel like the sponsored streams from Twitch, granted, maybe we're not the target demographic to get said sponsored streams from Twitch. I think those have just like died down, like completely.
I never saw any of those.
You never saw
And
any
I
of
was
them?
actually I was actually on the lookout for them. I never saw one.
I
Yeah.
just got one like last week, but it was my first one in like a year and a half. And it was
Okay.
like
Oh, no, no.
much lower rate than it used to be.
Oh.
So
I
real
got it
quick,
for
I was
The new show on Hulu, the Shogun show.
Oh.
I was specifically talking about the new channel skin stuff. Did you get that for the Shogun thing?
No, they didn't do that. Surprisingly, I thought they would have.
I saw it once on Soda Poppin' stream. Back when it.
What was the product?
Oh God, I don't remember, to be honest. Actually, we pulled it up. We did pull up a sponsored stream like recently while I was watching on Twitch because I was confused. And it was a channel takeover thing, but I don't recall what it was for and where it was. But I have seen a handful of them with the skin
Now, when
stuff.
I don't know if I've ever seen it. When you talk about channel skins, is it like PS like PlayStation like themes?
Yes.
Like, is that what
So
you're
you
like?
you
thinking?
get like you get like a box around your camera for Doritos
Okay,
new flaming
okay.
hot flavor or whatever, and like
Yeah.
your
Okay.
profile buttons change, and there's some overlay plugins I think they're using too and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, they
Hey,
do talk
listen,
about the increase.
Tushy, if you're out there,
See-
I will gladly rebrand for Tushy bidets because that changed my life. So if you want,
What
if you want to do a skin on my channel, you talk to me. We'll do
Okay.
it.
All right. What were you saying, Cope?
I was gonna say, I mean, this stuff has been in production for a long time. I'd really love that if they could kind of like, figure out what they need to do, wrap it up, and then make this available to us.
Yeah.
Because I think it'd be a
Mhm.
lot more interesting if,
To sell that.
we could. Absolutely, man. I mean, like the fact that we don't have this kind of stuff already is very weirdly confusing, considering they're trying to pivot to be an ad platform and they don't give these kind of options to streamers, or let alone other vendors to make these kinds of things with. But I mean, yeah, dude, it would be wildly lucrative for streamers if we had more options of things we could offer to sponsored streams.
Yeah.
We're very limited in that.
Yeah.
So
But don't worry,
hopefully they'll
Twitch
figure it out and
never
make it public.
releases a product that's unfinished and broken. Don't worry. So it's gonna be perfect when they launch it.
Oh man, we're settling back into the jaded true. I love it.
A little bit.
No, I would, to echo exactly what Ko's saying, sooner than later as well, because when it comes to agencies and even streamers that represent themselves, trying to convince a sponsor basically on like a channel takeover is a monumental task, because they're all about like expediency and trying to get it done as fast as possible, and trying to explain to them what the fuck a channel takeover is and what they need to do to be able to service that so that we can charge them for. It has to be like time has to take place, so that becomes the norm. And the longer that Twitch waits to do that shit, the more it's going to hurt us. Or if they just keep it for themselves.
That's the big thing that
Yeah.
I'm concerned about with stuff like this. Is it's like these are features that have palpable increase to our value. Like this is stuff that will make your streamers more money that participate in sponsored streaming, and it's something that they very possibly could just withhold, just not give us.
Totally.
Where there's the obviously to try to get more deals through them so they can take a higher portion, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's there's more than a handful of things where it's like if we had access to that, things would be much better. But you're making money by not doing that.
Yeah.
And I just kind of hope we see, especially if they're going to keep moving towards this more ad platformy thing that we've been seeing in the last like 3 to 5 years. This is where they should be thinking. Like let's let our streamers participate in this journey we're on. You know?
Yeah. The reason I bring up everything that I said in terms of it takes sponsors time to adapt to that stuff. Dan, I'm curious because out of the 4 of us, I think Zeke, I don't think you're streaming on like YouTube or TikTok or anything at the same time, right? The simulcasting stuff. I know Dan has. Have you? Feel free to say you don't want to discuss this here. I totally get that. When it comes to sponsors, I've pitched the other day.
I don't want to discuss this.
Okay, all right, let's get.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I'll say like, yeah. So we stream on multiple platforms, not just Twitch. Are you guys interested in also being sponsored over there? And the response so far for 3 months has been, no, we don't. Well,
yeah.
Thanks for the information.
Yeah, nobody has any way to.
They don't know what it is. Yeah, they don't know like how to do any of it. They don't know how
Yeah.
to like factor it in.
Also, JP, real talk. If you ever do take a sponsorship and you ask them that stuff, you need to be like thinking about if you're actually going to multi-stream after asking that question.
What do you mean?
Because I've definitely heard from somebody in PR where they literally told me, no, we don't pay for streaming on other platforms because everyone's just going to do it anyway right now. And it's like, you're not wrong.
You're saying, I see what you're saying.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
is if you approach a
Yeah.
sponsor and you say, would you like to pay extra for sponsoring on this or playing this platform? And they come back to you and say, we don't know enough yet. And then you just do
But
it.
then you just do it.
And they're just
Sure.
going to look at that
Yeah.
and be like, well, we're just going to, keep
Yeah.
this up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
So, I mean, and this is a general business thing, but it's
Yeah.
that's the unfortunate reality we live in. That's just how it works.
Sure.
Yeah.
Companies and advertisers on Twitch are kind of like your grandpa. First you can get them to try a cell phone. They finally get the cell phone. You get them to use it. They know how to send you emails, and then eventually maybe we'll graduate to having a Facebook account. Maybe then they spam you with that. They're like, it's really slow. They have to like get used to it. You got to ease them into it before they get comfortable with it. But eventually they'll know how to do all the things. But they lag behind.
Yeah,
It's an
I would
excellent
think
analogy.
9 or 10 months from now, hopefully they start throwing that stuff in there. But yeah, Co brings up a great point. If we're doing it for free, why would they pay extra for it at this point?
True.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies realize that it's a very new field right now. There's no reason to pay for it. There's just no reason yet.
Yeah.
Like and the another unfortunate reality is it hasn't really picked up. Like the amount of streamers that actually have traction on other platforms, you can count on pretty much 2 hands right now. So a bit of a thing.
Without question. They do have a whole thing about increasing sub prices, which I don't see this as a positive. Like it's I'll just read it here in full. We announced changes to the Prime Gaming sub revenue payouts in January, which gave us the ability to increase sub pricing in select markets so that streamers can take home more revenue to keep pace with rising costs. We increased the price of Tier 1 subs in Australia, Canada, and the UK, and raised the price of all subs in Turkey, the first time we've raised sub prices since their inception. We anticipate raising sub prices in some additional countries later this year. We'll make sure to give you plenty of notice before we introduce additional changes in this area.
There's a country that's suspiciously missing from that list. USA! USA! We the best!
Hold on.
They're framing
So
it as
they
we're going to
in
earn
this-
more, right?
No, this is different. This is not our thing. Regional pricing, and like regional pricing has two sides.
Oh, right. Not the
Customer
prime.
facing and streamer facing.
Yeah.
This is the customer facing. This has nothing to do with. What's even weirder though is they put here, we've raised the price of all subs in Turkey, but they're getting their Prime thing reduced to 9 cents. So it's kind of like, how much were they charging for subs before?
Oh, it was dirt cheap.
Like what? But I mean, like what? How? I don't it seems very weird that they would pick
Let's see.
the country that has the largest hit in Prime sub revenue to say that they've raised the prices there. Is anyone else seeing what's going on here? Like,
So
does this not seem weird to other people?
That's the prices. This is from the post in February. So that's the current price of the Turkish sub, 9.90 liras, and then they're changing it to 43.90.
Wow, that's a huge jump.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, leave that on the screen for just a second for me.
Okay.
It's a $1.42. It's going from 32 cents to $1.42 USD.
Okay, so here's where I'm a little confused. Is that, I'm assuming that's a normal sub, not a Prime sub.
Yes.
So that
it's a
means
tier 1 sub.
that and that's already locally priced for us, right?
Yes.
And they already did local pricing. So if somebody before this paid $9.99, which was, what'd you say, 92 cents, then we would get 40 something cents. 46.
Something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now they have to pay more and we will get more, I guess.
Yes. That's
Okay.
what they're saying.
So the thing that's weird here is that you would assume if the value of a sub is however much the new price is, then how could they possibly bring it down to 9 cents for the Prime sub if that's the value of a regular sub? Does it have to do with what Prime's cost is there?
I'm not. Yeah, that's a good question.
Are those two systems completely disconnected? Like that seems.
They would have to be. Does it
Feels
does
like
it
there's
factor in?
there's hidden modifiers here that we don't have.
Does it factor into the price of Amazon Prime in that country? Because
I'm guessing that's what it would have to. I'm guessing because the amount they give to the streamer would have to be dependent on the amount they're intaking, which for a Prime sub would be the cost of Prime in Turkey. But then that what I'm super interested in now is what does Prime subscription cost in Turkey?
Sure, you can Google. Let's see.
Yeah,
What
let's
does
just see. Let's just math it out a little bit.
Amazon Prime is available for 790 Turkish lira per month. So it's actually more expensive to currently sub to Twitch than it is to get Amazon Prime. Is that this is from About Amazon Europe. About Amazon.eu. So this is their website.
So you sub, or what would that be? About if 9.90 was 90-ish cents, I guess 70 would be 70-ish.
Okay,
cents,
so
right?
hold on. That was in 2020. So sorry to interrupt. Now it's
It's 39
it's
try.
39. Yeah. I'm looking at
$1.1.
looking at amazon.com/turkey/prime. Yeah, it's 39 lira, I guess. Now.
Is this
So
going to be on the test?
The math is making a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Because 39 try is about $1. It is still a little weird because what's Amazon here? $10 and we get $2.50, so a quarter of that. But then if they do $1, we get 10% of that. So
I feel like Dan and I are just in the back of the class, like drawing boobs and wieners and like passing it back and forth to each other.
Yeah, this is like a
just trying to
lecture.
figure it out, man.
I'm playing on my phone. Just in the back.
Dude, this is what happens when a blonde tries to do math. I'm telling you.
There you
But
go.
anyway, it's
The blonde jokes must be just a flowing these days.
I can't even tell you. But yeah, so I guess that somewhat makes sense. But it does raise all sorts of questions, like how are they doing these prime splits? How does this stuff actually work? Like where are they getting these costs? Is it consistent? So like is the cost for a prime sub, the amount you get for a prime sub in Turkey, the percentage of that the exact same as the US if you were to get it there, or Canada from there? Is that how they adjusted them? Are they all percent based on the Amazon cost?
Yeah.
Like, again, so much information that is completely we rely on to do our jobs and we just don't have. We just have no idea. No clue.
Yep.
No clue.
The rest of the article just goes on to talk about reducing harassment, keeping your community safe, updating the enforcement system, and then just to wrap things up. So if this is all we got in 2024, it's going to be a slow 2024. Maybe they're saving something for TwitchCon. I don't know. But
2 TwitchCons this year.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Hopefully they'll both be big.
When is TwitchCon EU? Is that summer? What's the date on that, Zeke? Because you're going, right? Are you going this year?
No, I'm not. I have no plans to go to EU.
Okay. All right. I think it's this summer. Anyways, that's enough news. You guys want to talk video games?
June, people are saying.
Okay. Yeah, summer. Let's talk talk some video games. We haven't had a show since Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out. I actually think me, Ko, and Dan are all in the same chapter. Funny enough.
Chapter 9.
Is that my time?
I think that's your
You guys
time,
have
Zeke.
fun?
Zeke, are you not
I'll
playing
see
at all?
you.
Have you played or watched any of it?
No.
Okay. No plans to
No,
either?
I tried to play the first one and it didn't grab me. It didn't have the same kind of like feeling playing the what was it, 4 discs on PS1.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Let's start there then. For the three of us, do you
I'm
think?
on chapter 9?
Okay, I just started 10, so I guess I'm one beyond you guys, but it doesn't matter. For Ko and Dan, for someone like Zeke who didn't have a remake grab him, does Rebirth do anything different, change up the system, or should he just stay away? What do you guys think?
Away.
Stay away?
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't like remake, I mean, it's if you didn't like remake, it's 90% of remake, and the extra 10% is like fun new mechanics and things to do. But I mean, it's the same game, and you kind of do have to play remake before Rebirth. So
Story-wise,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, if you
Makes
didn't like
sense.
remake, I would not recommend Rebirth.
Personally, for me, this is the Final Fantasy game that I've enjoyed more than 15, 16, and remake. Like, I feel that it's like the most Final Fantasy a game has felt in a long time. I like 16, but 16 felt like it was going in a different direction, which just wasn't quite for me. Like, I loved what it was, but it just didn't feel like Final Fantasy as much. But Rebirth feels a lot better than remake, partially because it's open world now, and you can go lots of different places, whereas remake was kind of like railroady. There was like, a little bit of deviation, but mostly like you had to go along a path. This one feels a lot more open, which I appreciated.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like how I want to structure the conversation. Let's just start performance, because I think that's maybe the first thing that it's the first thing I noticed when I boot the game up, and it was the constant conversation, at least in my chat when the playthrough started. So I would assume it's the same across the board. Performance is 60, but it's blurry as fuck. 60 FPS, and it's got this like the best way I've seen it described and echoed is that it's got like Vaseline smeared across your screen when you're playing. And then the other version, which is running 4K, it runs 4K 30, and that's where I started my playthrough. And I was very adverse to playing 60 because once I went 60, I knew I wouldn't want to go back. And that's exactly what happened. I went 60 and I was like, I can't play 30 anymore. The game feels fucking bad to play at 30. The inputs, the mini games in this are I would say actually so much more difficult playing in 30 FPS because
I
the
bet.
input delay and everything is just so bad. And so like it's really the most negative aspect of this entire game is performance across the board, because they both are frustrating with the what they offer. They've said that they're going to try and patch the performance thing, which
Performance mode blurriness.
yeah, I don't know how you do that because it seems like it's dynamically scaling the resolution, and so the only way to do that would just to have better hardware, and they're not just gonna like turn out some better hardware from software update. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens, I guess, but yeah, that's my take on kind of the performance. I don't know if you guys have different takes or if you agree with that, but how are you guys finding it? And are you both in performance mode?
And
Yeah,
I'll take it away.
I'm in performance mode because I compared both the fidelity and performance, and honestly, performance isn't that much blurrier than regular mode. Like it's such a minor difference. It's not worth the 30 FPS for me.
Yeah.
Like you can tell in the open world like the difference between the two because you get a little more pop in with grass and textures and stuff on performance versus fidelity. But it's just not worth losing that silky frame.
Yeah.
And in 2024, I cannot play games in 30 FPS unless I have to.
Sure.
If I have to, I have to. But I want.
Can I change my Twitch name to Silky Frame, please?
You should. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Co, your performance as well?
Yep, totally performance. I tried graphics and I was in it for about 30 seconds. I moved the camera in a full circle and just went, nope, not doing that anymore. I just can't.
Yeah.
And yeah, been loving every second of it. The big thing for me with this game is this takes everything I love about the Final Fantasy universe, and 7 is one of my favorite. Just like Dan said, it thankfully does not continue this like path of simplifying the game that I really didn't like. Final Fantasy 16 for me is much more of an action game than anything. It is an action RPG. It doesn't really feel like a JRPG like a Final Fantasy normally does. Final Fantasy devs, you do what you want. You make a fighting game, I don't care. Whatever. Make a Final Fantasy racer, whatever. I don't care. But my point is that I love the JRPG, the tons of items, tons of skills, tons of systems. Like that's what I really enjoy. And I felt like 16 was a bit of a step away from that. But what this game does is it takes 7, which I love, all the fun game mechanics that I would expect from a Final Fantasy game, and then it puts it in the sandbox of Yakuza. And Yakuza has always been traditionally large semi-open world environments, tons of mini games everywhere, and general ridiculousness interspersed with serious moments. And I feel like the last part, Final Fantasy has kind of always been pretty good about. But I feel like there's scenes in this that are straight out of a Yakuza game. And it's glorious. It's phenomenal. Like this is a marriage I didn't know I wanted, and now I would never it's one of the best I've ever seen and played. It's fantastic. The amount of mini games in this game that are actually like fleshed out, fun to play mini games is just amazing. Like every region has multiple for fun mini games. Golden Saucer was just an absolute joy.
Yeah.
It's incredibly cool to see devs that are this committed and passionate make a game like this. It's phenomenal. I've loved every second of it. I started it going, yeah, I may try to, do like a pretty fleshed out full playthrough of the game. Now here I am at chapter 9, literally doing every possible thing I can do up until this point. Like everything that can be done, I have done. And I'm still like, okay, cool. What's next? Oh, cool. What fight can we do? Oh, let's go check out the whole new area. Let's get all the towers. Let's do all this. Like I'm still actually fully invested in clearing it completely. So it's nice, man.
Yeah.
It's a really special game for sure.
I can't.
My only complaint is that the story keeps interrupting my Queen's Blood playthroughs. I'm trying to play Queen's Blood, and they keep just shoving this story in my face. I'm like,
Yep.
Queen's Blood's card game.
Queen's Blood, the card game, because someone told me in my chat, it's like, you might not like the game, but there's a very addictive card game in there that you would like. And I'm like, I feel like Gandalf, like, don't tempt me, Frodo.
I got 3 complaints.
Okay.
Three complaints about this game, because it doesn't matter how much I love a game, I always whine about it. I'm a whiner. That's what I do. I'm a bitch. So my point is that the 3 points that I have, the same problems with Remake did come over into Rebirth with the combat system, and what I mean is that kind of like a lot of people like me we're not a huge fan of how loose the combat system is, how unresponsive it can be in the animation component. Like a good example is switching into Punisher mode if you're trying to do it quickly while doing action with Cloud. Or there's also times when enemies can just completely wombo you into the ground or just stun you in ridiculous ways. And like, it's all stuff that Get Good would fix. Don't get me wrong. But it does make the combat system at many times be more frustrating than fun.
Huh.
So that happens. And generally it's few and far between when it happens. And I do want to stress, Get Good, right? Well, you're getting juggled by a melee guy, just use a ranged person. I know, but I want to use a melee person, right? With King Kong's dick in my ear. That's how I want to beat this guy.
Yeah, it's very.
So that's how we
we
want it to work. So it's that kind of thing. And that can get frustrating. The second thing is, I don't know how this made it out of workshop. I don't know how someone didn't stand up at Square and said, this is wrong and we need to start over, because this is not okay. This is not okay for us. This is not okay for our players. And this is not okay for, frankly, anyone that lays eyes on it. Because we all saw what happened when they put human teeth in Sonic Mouth. We were all there for that. And now you're doing it to the Moogles.
Oh, I didn't know where you were going with that. You're not a fan of Moogles.
The Moogles are some of the weirdest, ugliest. They took everything that was cute about Moogles was the fact that they didn't look at all real, that they were actually like this fun, mythical, weird, strange, bubbly creatures with eyes that never opened. They turned them into weird panda human hybrids. They look nothing like Moogles. And they're just, every time I see one, I can't help see that Sonic with human teeth just smiling back at me. And it's just like, who okayed this? How is this okay? Did you not ask anyone who's a fan of the franchise what they thought about it? Because nobody likes this. Nobody.
Well, I gotta say,
and if you do like it,
you had my interest.
You're wrong.
Now you have my attention.
Yeah, it's just they're weird koalas. They're not. Thank you for that, Linux. They really do just look like weird koalas. They look nothing like the Moogles. Moogles are fine. No, that just means you're not fine. That's all that means.
Whoa.
Yeah. If you think Moogles are fine, it means something in your life is not fine.
Whoa.
Because that's the only way that could possibly happen.
Wow.
Am I serious?
Throwing shade.
Guess that. But my point is that no, okay. Everything's been jokes up until this point. At real talk, the Moogles look very strange. Like it's easily my least favorite Moogle interpretation.
Yeah.
Like they look way more personified than they have in the
That's
past.
a koala with white fur. What the fuck is
Thank
going
you.
on here?
It's a freaking weird human koala. It really is.
They're
It really
koalas,
is.
yeah.
And it's strange, man. They put human clothing on it. Like, come on, dude. Like, no, don't take it.
They don't have the qualities that made the Moogles.
Damn it, Dan.
Oh, let's go, Dan! Woo! Another one.
That was so
Yeah.
good. That was so good. But anyway, that was my second biggest issue with the game is it's just I don't know what they did with that. And then the third, and this isn't even like nothing, this isn't a complaint, but I will say I find it so like they kept these they kept things from Remake that don't really make much sense. Like you have this weapon upgrade part of your main med, but it does nothing because they actually scrapped that system and turned it into something else. And then what's even weirder is they let you save party makeups, but the one thing that this game is literally begging for, is materia loadouts of your party. Like being able to switch between like a farming loadout and a leveling loadout and a, I'm fighting a boss loadout, and every materia in all of your party that could be would just set equipment, set materia in it. Like, it'd be perfect. But they let you save party makeup? Like they let you save party layouts? Like which of these 3 people you want to use, you can save layouts of those, but not your materia. It's just like, what are you thinking? I've literally spent 2+ hours doing materia.
If an item has better stats but less slots, I'm not using it. Like I need the materia slots. Like
Yeah.
you can't sacrifice them.
That's
Some of them you just need.
the itemization in the game is for example, there's been multiple times, I'm sure you guys did as well. You're walking around and you find a new item for a character. You're like, awesome, I got this new item for this character. I finally don't have to look at this stupid giant purple Barney ass sword on my back. You put the sword on, it has 2 materia slots. You do the ability twice, you master the technique, and then you go back to the
Never
purple
use it
fucking
again.
sword.
Yep. Back to the purple sword. Yep.
I hate that. I hate it so much.
Here's the thing. I don't like it, but I do love the fact that every single weapon and item you find like feels special. Because like
Sure.
it's like, oh, that could be like a new key ability I've never heard of, you know, or maybe it will have materia slots that are better than mine. Where like that's something that I felt got lost in 16. I stopped caring about loot because it was so uninteresting and really didn't mean much. But in like that feeling is completely reignited with Rebirth, which I love.
There's something
like I love
great
that feeling.
about taking something permanent from using a class or a weapon or an armor and like keeping on your character forever. It makes you just have that special warm, tingly progression feeling in your gut.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because that's a huge trait of Yakuza. And like just like you start seeing like this little influence, and you start like, if you start looking for the influence, you'll see it all over the place. If you are a Yakuza player, like you will see so much influence of Yakuza in this game in beautiful, great ways. And almost all of them are innovative, which is again, just fantastic.
Yeah. For me, I picked up, I was slow to say it because I didn't want to like, I hate having the take where chat just freaks out, but it's like, this kind of like Yakuza, right, chat? Everyone's like, yeah, that's exactly like Yakuza. So not even having played it, I could recognize right out of the gate that it's like very Yakuza in terms of, like Host said, the weirdness of it and the side stories of it, and all the mini games of it. It screams Yakuza.
Yeah.
Uh,
The
without
Yakuza
question.
franchise has been consistently some of the best JRPGs that they've been
Especially
making over
these
the past
days.
10 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With
especially
the
when they went
last
to
2 games?
turn-based. So good. Just amazing. And if they want to keep borrowing from Yakuza to make their games, like do it. Like it's only good things come from doing that.
Sure.
I'll tell you this, man, having like 2 companies at the top of their game, exactly like you're saying, innovating off each other is like, that's the gamer's dream right there. Especially when they're companies like Square and Ryuga Gotoku, where it's like, you know, they're going to be respectful about it. You know, they're going to try to innovate whenever they take something and kind of push it forward. And now we have like 2 amazing parallel games, and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth and Rebirth, but releasing within a month of each other almost. And it's kind of like, it's a great time to be an RPG fan.
It really
between
is.
those 2 games, man.
There's a
It
lot.
really is. Both are 100+ hour epics. Like it's,
Yeah.
and they're both phenomenal. Yeah, it's real nice.
How do we?
Crossover when? Oh, Be Still My Heart, dude.
Yeah, that would be.
You give me
pretty
Ichiban
badass.
Kasuga in Rebirth as a card or something, and I'm done. Like that's it.
That'd be pretty
Yes,
badass.
yes.
Yeah.
You give me Cloud as a Sujimon in Like a Dragon. Dude, they both have card games. It'd be perfect.
It's true. Yeah, they could.
Square,
They
Ryu,
could
get
do
on
it.
it, man. This is, I mean,
They could do
it
it.
writes itself, dude.
He could
Oh
be
my
a Tifa
God.
skin with the fists, like just punching. Yeah, it would be great.
Better yet, put Tifa's clothes on Ichiban
Yes.
in
it's
Like a
perfect.
Dragon.
Now you're talking.
Yes. Ultimate
talking.
crossover.
The money just prints itself there. Pays for
That
it.
is totally something Ryuga Gotoku would do as well. Just get like Cloud, Barret, and Tifa outfits and just give them to every single character, regardless of gender. That is a total Ryuga Gotoku thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
It would work. Story wise, not getting into any specifics. How are you guys finding the story? Obviously, that was a big conversation point around the first one. How are you finding it in Rebirth?
I'm in the unique perspective where I've never played the original, so I'm playing the remake first, and then I will go
Ooh.
back to the original and play it and see what the difference is. So as someone that hasn't played the original, I don't know what's different and what's not. So it's just a good game for me. I don't know what the differences are. I see it's fun for me watching chat go, what, that character? Or, oh my God, this is different. Like, but I'm like,
Sure.
oh, sure it is. I knew that. But it's just been a great game as someone has never played the original.
Are
And
you
I can't wait to go back and try 7 at some point.
What's your level of confusion?
None right now. I just assume that if I don't know what something is, that they'll explain it later. Yeah. Or hoping.
Oh,
they will
you
explain it later.
fool!
I
JP,
know, which they
JP.
don't.
JP, let's let him keep this enthusiasm as long as possible.
They're gonna
And that's
explain
great.
it,
And you're
okay?
absolutely right. Everything gets explained. It's gonna be great. Just keep on playing, man, with a smile on your
Yeah.
face.
Oh man. Okay.
I just smile. I'm like, yeah, I understand what's happening. I have no idea what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Man, Cole, where are you finding the story? What do you think?
It's
No
interesting.
specifics. We're not in spoiler mode.
I definitely played Final Fantasy VII 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
So like the thing with the way my memory works is if I haven't played something for like a few years, like I start forgetting side stuff and minor things. Give me like 5 to 10 years and I start forgetting like main plot points.
Okay.
Now granted, thankfully, Final Fantasy VII original was way before my drug phase, so I do have a lot of those memories still there.
Fair.
But the thing is that it's done in a way where for me to remember it, I have to see it a lot of times, and it will jog my memory, but I won't remember. Like for instance, a good example, I had forgotten. You guys know Chapter 9. Big thing happens with a character. You get to meet characters from his past. Get some really heartfelt story. I had forgotten that arc completely. Completely. So that was like all new to me. And it wasn't until after it was done that I remember talking to chat and being like, wait a second, didn't this, and this happen then? Like what happened? Like that's not, I now that I've seen it, I remember it wasn't like that. And like we got to talk about it and do all that kind of stuff. So that's what the conversation has been like mostly in my playthrough, where it's like the big stuff I remember, the big plot points I get, but a lot of the minor things, that are a little different or changed in certain ways, me and chat kind of experience those together and remember together
Yeah.
a lot of times and things like that. So, but the short of it is I've loved it. I love the premise of remake and rebirth. And I'm almost enamored and so viscerally impressed that they're doing this. I don't really have much to add. Like the more I play of the game, the more kind of in awe I am, where it's like they decided to do this, they did it, and it's working.
Yeah.
And like it makes me want to go back to the very first meetings when they were thinking about this and being like, no, we're actually gonna do this. Like we're gonna like retell the story, but it's kind of like, damn. Now here we are, a quarter of the way through the second game, and it's just I'm still in awe that it's working. Like I've been in this constant state of woe since the end of remake, and now here I am going through rebirth, and I'm just like, this is incredible. Like it's just incredible.
Yeah.
So,
It also excites me thinking about what if after they finish this, they go back to one of the PlayStation 1 games and give it like a full remake and like 9 or 8 and just like do those from the ground
Dude.
up again.
Yeah.
what's even wilder, there is a chance that they are implementing mechanics to potentially tie all Final Fantasies together. If you really start thinking about it and you start tracing it back, like there starts becoming some threads, and it's like, I do wonder. I know chat says no. I know. I've been thinking and reading some pretty crazy things, but like it's there's some stuff out there that is weirdly convincing when they trace it back, and it's kind of like, and if you think about like what they're I know people are freaking out in chat right now about how wrong it is and how they know it's, but I'm just saying, if you think about the path that we're going, like there's some very interesting thing. Now, of course, we don't know because we don't know what's going on in it. All of this is dependent on what's going on in this current arc, I guess you'd call it. I feel like I'm talking about an anime right now. but if things work out in some ways, and no, the bleach didn't seep into my brain. I saw that comment. If you think about some of the ways things are working in this and the way that they're pulling different things together, it is a type of freedom that we have not seen in this IP to this level.
Sure.
So it does mean that it could open some interesting doors down the road. And the reason, by the way, the reason I'm wildly speculating here, is just going back to the fact that they have done such a good job in this game, keeping it murky and interesting and engaging while retelling this already phenomenal story in an already phenomenal new way. The whole thing is just staggeringly, it's just great.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah.
This game is art.
It's definitely, it's been a fun, it's got a first playthrough of Rebirth, has new things for people that have already played the game. And then people like Dan who have not played the game can also still understand everything at the same time. That's very hard, very small rope to kind of, you know, get through the entire game. Granted, we're not through the entire game yet from where we're at in our own playthroughs, but yeah, they've done a great job of that thus far. We'll see what happens with the ending. If you're chapter 9, you're closer than you think. You're past the halfway mark.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think. I mean, maybe I'm dead wrong about that, but I know how many chapters.
It's okay.
Are.
I don't necessarily see it. I mean, especially in a game like this, I don't really see it as a major spoiler.
Yeah.
Like, because again, I don't even know when this game's going to end. And you got to remember, I'm going to have total blackout. They probably showed where it ended in a trailer. I don't know, but I have no idea. Yeah. So, you know, for me, it's just going to end at some point, and I'm going to be pissed. I already know it's coming. So like, whenever they decide to end it, I am not okay with, because I wanted more. That's just how that works. I'm going to be angry when I get to the end of this game.
When you like go to save or go to the main PlayStation menu, it has like the percentage there of where you're at. So if you're not wanting that, then I guess be careful about seeing that. But that number's not 100% all correct all the time. But yeah, we'll definitely do some. I know I've gotten asked this a bunch, so I'll just stress it out. We'll do some sort of spoiler conversation around it. We will have no idea who will be on that. Most likely the usual suspects, but we'll see.
And yes, y'all, you're crazy if you think we will not ask Max.
Yeah, Max will definitely get asked.
He will be pinged.
Yep.
But I'm sure lots of people will be pinging him.
Yes, Max is a hot commodity, guys. He's a legacy streamer now. He's a
legacy streamer and the top Final Fantasy VII Rebirth streamer on Twitch.
That's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's a busy folk.
I don't know if you've heard about Maximilian, dude. It's kind of a big deal.
It's kind of a big deal now. Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to the discussion yet. I think once we wrap up the story, there will be a lot to discuss.
I love everybody making these suggestions as if we don't know these fucking people. Like, what about Jesse Cox? Like, he'd be a good, like,
who is that?
Yeah, sure.
What?
Why not?
Who's
Who's this guy? Like, come on, man.
Wait. They didn't seriously just, did I hear that right? Cox?
Yeah. I think that's that guy's
like that's
name.
his name?
I think that's his name. It's really silly.
Oh my God.
It must be made up.
He is taking your chick.
It must be made up. It must not be. Yeah.
It can't be real.
Can't be real.
I wish I could slap you like you did me in the hot tub right now.
How do you like, do you have to earn a name like that? Like get your dick blown off in a major franchise or something?
That's what happened to Jesse's great grandfather. He was given an opportunity. He got his dick blown off, and they say, man, what a Cox. And then the sun came down from the clouds, and he looked up and he said, that's my name, Mr. Cox.
Keep going. I love it. I love this story.
Yeah.
Ride it out.
Yep. He rode anyways.
When's the hot tub stream? It's done. You can't ask me that anymore. It's over.
It is true.
The hot tub stream is done.
It's done.
Yep.
It's
Boom.
It's over.
It happened. Been done did.
Yeah.
That's right.
Are you guys both 100%ing it again? I'd have to say it. But you're doing everything in the zones, right?
I guess I am now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like
they're not really giving me
fun.
much of an option.
How much hours?
Stuff.
I'm at I think I'm just about to cross 50 hours. And I've done
like that,
all of that. I've done much of Golden Saucer. I've done like the main story stuff, but I haven't gone back to do any of the side stuff in it, which I know there is copious amounts with like is it spoiling to talk about the mini games?
Maybe.
Yes, it is.
Maybe, yeah.
Because honestly, some of the mini games, it's just super exciting when you get to that point. And you're like, oh my god, this is actually a full game.
Okay.
Like I that has been some of the most fun for me in this game. To be honest, is getting to a point and being like, oh my god, I can't believe this is really a game. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you guys feel the same way, or is that
No. I'm agreeing with you. I'm trying to figure out how to talk. Have you done the Tifa mini game? that's annoying.
Yes.
Did you
Yeah.
did you
Yes.
master it?
Yes.
Okay. God damn it. I did like everything on the first try and I got to the end and I did it flawlessly, but I wasn't fast enough. And you have to be fast enough, but also flawless. I haven't done it yet.
For someone,
Yeah,
for
that
someone
one's
who
painful.
doesn't know anything
Painful.
about what you're talking about, the Tifa minigame conjures up something completely different, and you're like, "Are you master of it? Are you flawless at it?" Like,
By the
I'm
way,
pretty good
I
at
would
it. I'll tell you that.
I would like
There's a
to
lot of
thank
those,
the
to be honest.
developers for Tifa's beach outfit. Thank you, developers. We all needed that, and I didn't know we needed that. So thank
And
you very
pretty
much.
ridiculous.
You know,
yeah.
not only do I agree with you, but it's a 1-2 punch. First is the Tifa swimsuit, and second is Tifa's signature pose in the t-shirt or in the swimsuit.
Yes.
Because,
yes,
like
yes,
my
yes.
chat said, no one actually leans forward like that without knowing exactly what they're doing. So for her to walk
Well-
up to Cloud and be like, "Hey, Cloud, so
What's up?
how you doing? Good to see you."
So let me ask you: Can you?
I
can
just
you,
wish
like-
she like winked at the camera and
I
said,
know.
"This is for you, Italian Senate." Like, sorry, Zeke. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. No, do you have like outfit options or the like?
You
for
do
the
overworld?
actually.
In some
Yes.
areas, yeah, you have outfit options.
Even for the beach, you can have her wear significantly different clothing at the beach if you want her to. I mean, I don't know
Okay.
why you would, but you could.
No, I'm just wondering if you can like take her around in the bikini, like everywhere you go.
I think you can in New Game Plus. I don't think you can in current.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah, because I saw some
Not a
reviewers.
New Game Plus, the Bikini Squad. That's
yeah,
right.
I saw
yes.
some reviewers
Yes.
talking about how you could change costumes in New Game Plus. So.
About how
Okay.
angry they were. They had to beat the game first. Is that?
Oh no!
Well, listen, half the reason I played
It was just Gene Park
Nier-
saying like, "Yeah, we'll run around in a swimsuit." What were you saying, Zeke?
half the reason why I played Near Automata as much as I did is because of that option, because of one of those options.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. One of the other things, negatives, if we're still rattling those off. I like Chadley as a character. I don't want to fucking hear him give me a monologue after every goddamn thing I
So-
do.
Dude's blowing
There's
up
a-
my
there's-
phone.
There's a couple things in this game.
Hey cousin, let's go bowling.
Definitely 1,000% could have been more streamlined.
Yeah.
The animation of getting in and out of certain things later on.
Yes.
There's a lot of
Yes.
things where it's kind of like, why, like for instance, when Chadley contacts you, the fact that you have to like reach at your belt, pull out the little thing, it has to unfold, the screen comes out, then the camera zooms in and stops what you're doing, and then he says like, "Hey, thanks for getting that, Cloud," and then the screen goes away, and then it folds back down, and then he puts it back in his pocket, and then it's like, dude, just give me like a little pop up in the top right of his face, and just give me some dialogue, man. Like, we don't need these animations.
It takes so
And same
long.
later in the game, there's a certain thing, a repetitive action you have to do over and over. It could have been like screen fades to black and comes back and it's fine. But instead there's like this 7-second like, okay, let this door come down, let me walk in, let me just find my seat, let me sit down, let me turn on the thing, let me put my hands on this door. Okay, ready to go. Bro,
Yeah.
why?
There's a lot of
Why?
that. There's a lot of that, unfortunately. That's it probably throughout the course of like 100-hour playthrough adds about 5 hours.
all the
Yep,
Yeah.
all the little parts if you were to put
all
together,
the fucking
they could
little
have been better.
nonsense parts. It's
Yeah.
about 5 hours of my life I won't get back. So,
That being said,
I'm a
that being
big
said,
fan of like showing that animation one time and then every single
Letting you skip
time
it.
thereafter,
Yep.
skipped it.
100%. That's like the perfect thing, and even let you skip it the first time if you want to, because whatever. But yeah, the little stuff definitely adds up. In fact, earlier I was talking about like the materia stuff. I spent 50 hours in this game so far. 5 hours has probably been managing materia.
yeah.
And what's even worse is 4 of those 5 hours are just putting it between 2 different things, like 2 different
Yep.
sets, as I'm going back
Yeah.
and forth between farming and like trying to kill bosses. So.
Dude,
Yeah,
there's
that's definitely been a thing. I will say this
Yeah.
though, real quick. One thing that is awesome is even though that stuff isn't streamlined, like thinking about back in the day Final Fantasy, and even some more recent current ones, they have super streamlined going in and out of combat, which is awesome. Like you go into combat, you're instantly in combat. The second it's done, it's like you can just spam click that to get out of it immediately. Thinking about like back in the day and stuff like that and how it was really an ordeal, even in some of the recent ones, there has been a lot of work done on that, which is great.
Yeah, I think the combat system is I love the combat system. I don't have any big complaints about it. I wish hard mode was unlocked on first playthrough. Like I do find that you're talking about materia. I went 40 hours before I even like really interfaced with the materia because I didn't care. Like I didn't care enough to go in there and just mess with it nonstop. It was an annoyance, like you said, but
It's kind of
Speaking of that,
annoying.
I can't be the only one who playing the original like forgot about materia until like way late into the game and you're just like, oh shit.
well, in
Like,
the original,
yeah.
it was
System.
yeah. It also I think took longer in the original to like level up the materia, so you could kind of forget about it. This one you can go through pretty fast.
You
I
also
feel.
get so much materia in this one. So many different types of side materia and joining materia and spells that you'll never use except for certain fights and like just tons and tons and tons of stuff.
Yeah.
You get to a
which
point
is great.
later in the
I
game,
love it, but yeah.
too, where you're like trying to figure out, okay, I need to get a purple materia out of here, but which one is the purple one I'm looking for? You got to hover over each purple materia to see which is the mana up one.
Yeah.
You know, it's little stuff like that that gets a little annoying.
Yeah.
A lot of UI stuff.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, the open world stuff has been pretty fun. Like it's just enough, not too much. Like just a few of this, just a few of that, so you don't feel like you're over bombarding you with open world objectives. Like a lot of Ubisoft games can feel that way sometimes because it's split up in the zones.
And on top of that, not only is that a great point, but the rewards are also super meaningful. And the rewards you get even on top, like you get the rewards you get for just doing the little things are meaningful. But then the like overarching global rewards you get for completing whole sections is like game changing sometimes. So I mean, it's it's kind of like grinding in an MMO. Like the process itself may not be the most fun thing, but they do such a good job putting a carrot on a stick on being like, you're going to get something amazing if you do this, that it makes the act more enjoyable, which is great.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I can't stand the Ubisoft style open world is because I never like, cool, I got a new cosmetic or I got some random currency or something.
You got some animal hides.
Yeah, it's not impactful. It's not meaningful. It doesn't offset the tediousness of the repetitive action. Like that's the goal. You want to make it so the tedium that you're spending time doing is enjoyable and captivating. And one of the best ways to do that is meaningful long-term goals, and they nail it in this game.
Yeah. The open world stuff I so much prefer to the first one. Story-wise, I understand why that couldn't happen in the first one, and it makes obvious sense if you played the first one compared to this one. But yeah, the open world stuff is awesome. I'm not annoyed by it. I think I saw the first tower and I rolled my eyes, but now it's like I see a tower and I'm kind of excited by it. So they've somehow
exactly
shaped that whole foundational thing of video games and towers, and it's just kind of been like, this is exciting again type deal.
They've also really reduced it. Oh, go ahead, Dan.
As far as the combat goes as well, like if this is the future of almost turn-based combat that they want to go with, I'd be happy with that, because like it's almost turn-based, but it's not quite. It's still actiony enough for people that want that sort of action combat, but not as slow as pure turn-based.
Yeah.
So it's got like a nice balance. And like if this is what the future of Final Fantasy is, I'll be happy with this combat system.
Yep.
I agree.
I would agree. What were we gonna say, Cope? You remember?
I don't remember. It's fine.
Okay. Not a big deal. Cool. That's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. It will definitely come up in some form. I suspect we'll all have it done by next week, but don't expect a spoiler show for at least a little while longer than that.
Yeah.
We want to most importantly give other people a chance to
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Turns out not everyone can play games 8 hours a day.
That's correct. Yeah. And I'll be honest about this as well. From a business perspective, I can't even play this game at 8 hours a day because it's not great because everyone's playing it.
They don't
I'm
want
bouncing,
spoilers.
My current schedule is bouncing between this and Like a Dragon, which is somehow worse than it. And
are you trying to kill your channel?
I haven't seen my normal channel average for like a week.
Sometimes you got to do stuff for your channel just to keep your love of streaming alive. And like,
dude,
playing a great game you enjoy is one of those.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you how amazing it is to be lost in 2 separate giant RPGs.
How are you not done with Yakuza? Like what?
Dude, I'm 70+ hours into Yakuza.
Jesus.
I'm telling you, people are sleeping on that game.
I
if
mean,
you
everyone
like-
that played
if
it
you
said
like-
it's game of the year. Like,
If you like Rebirth, there's absolutely no question you should be playing Like a Dragon after or
But-
soon after. Like a Dragon is arguably in some ways like Rebirth, but more.
you have to have
Yeah, I
played the
said
other ones though, right?
You'd have to at least play the first one.
The first.
And by first one,
7.
I mean Yakuza Like a Dragon,
Yeah.
which is technically 7. Yeah, you want to play all of them, but you can get away with just playing that one.
Yeah.
And that one's great too. That one's phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. Infinite Wealth is to Like a Dragon what Rebirth is to Remake. It took everything Like a Dragon was and just made it better. That's what Infinite Wealth is.
My favorite
but
part
yeah,
about
it's
that
really good.
franchise is how they have a mini game that's long as a full-blown full-price game. Like the most recent one has like a whole Animal Crossing island that just is
Doko Island.
super long and super thought out. It's you'll spend like 20 hours just in this little mini game inside the bigger game.
Hundreds of different things you can place, multiple mechanics. There's a whole Pokemon thing that ties into the Animal Crossing game. Like it's the depth and the way they connect it and the way that it all works again is we could talk about this for hours. But TLDR, they're both amazing games. I know I'm destroying my Twitch channel right now. And, you know, I'm hoping not only that, I'm going to be basically destroying my Twitch channel for the next 2 weeks. And then I leave for 5 days. Then I come back and it's Dragon's Dogma.
Oh,
so it's
I
like
you were leaving for 5 days.
I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm going to GDC. So
okay.
I'm hoping my channel can make it to Dragon's Dogma 2, and then you know maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm sure it'll be.
And if not, I can always go back to IT, I guess.
There you go. Yeah, Zeke, you haven't started Yakuza yet, right? You're waiting for the.
No, I have not. No. That's still it's on the docket. It will happen.
Okay.
At least, you know, I'll make the effort to give it a go. But like Ko said, it's relative. You know, it's like we'll see how it works viewer wise and make a decision because it is a long fucking game. You know, all the
100 hours easy.
RGG games are really long.
Yeah.
So,
and if you want 100%
I mean,
an RGG game, you double to triple the time, like easy.
Oh, I never guarantee I'm 100% or tried 100%. The only one I actually sort of tried 100%, I stopped playing on stream and I started playing on my own, which was the samurai one,
Ishin?
the one that's Ishin, the one that takes place in the Edo period of Japan.
Yeah.
Speaking of Dragon's Dogma, they released the character creator.
Yeah, did
and I
you
would like-
use it?
Yeah, I tried it out, and I would like to make one quick comment. Julia, I've seen the characters you've been making, and if this is a cry for help, we're here for you. So just reach out if you need help, because I've seen the most defile, weird creatures coming from her, and it seems like
I think she's secretly
She
telling
made a
us,
normal
like,
character.
what she's into.
Yeah, she is now, but there's a tweet couple below that.
I know. Also, I don't mean to destroy. There's this, by the way.
Yeah.
Also,
That's what I'm talking about.
play the Dota
Like,
song,
hey,
and that's what's currently
don't
playing
knock
right now.
VTubers looking at that model in shambles
Yeah.
right now. It's just like, oh man, look at those flopping around. What's wrong?
As I am prone to say, don't knock it till you nut it. That's
really?
that's somebody's. That's the
What?
don't
That's-
kink shame. That's the same as saying don't kink shame. I just like that way to say it better.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's certainly a thing.
This is when Zeke goes again. You know, you're all thinking it, and we're like, no.
Not really, no.
No.
Look, I'm gonna be 100% honest. Julia ain't got shit on some of the stuff that I've seen on the subreddit. There is some cursed ass like this right here. How do you feel about Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, that is.
I like it.
I saw someone that made a 1-to-1 recreation of Michael Jackson. It was like exact. They're getting so good at making.
I'm proud of myself for not making the political joke I just thought up. I just like you don't know that.
Okay. All right.
I got it. I get it.
Hold on. I gotta find Dan.
That's character growth, Co.
I played around in the character creator. It's fucking phenomenal. It's really, really good.
The amount of stuff you can do in there is crazy.
Yeah. Someone also made a who's the main character of Yakuza? Of 7 and 8.
Ichiban, Kasuga.
Yeah,
Ichiban.
yeah. They made him in it. There's been multiple of that.
I remember when this was a big thing on the Wii, like the Mii's, and people were like, do it like with the rudimentary shit, and that was amazing. Like, I'm betting like the people are like, oh fuck, a character creator that really does what I want. Oh shit.
That's the Pink Panther.
That's cursed. Oh my god, that is horrifying.
I can't believe
I don't know about that one, dude. I don't know about that one.
Let's see here. Some of these are really good. Some of them are also like, it's cool that you can go both ways. Here's
Can you get these? Like, can you download like the settings or
That's-
stuff?
But
Yeah, it's free.
so
Actually, I don't know about downloading other people's, but
yeah, you can
That's what I
get
meant. Like, you can just like get the settings.
You
from
can
that shit
download
and
their
upload it to your
pawns.
character creator.
yes, you can download
if it's
their
anything like
pawns.
DD1, if they make a pawn, you can then download that pawn later if you're like on their friends list or whatever. Or even if you can search for their
Mhm.
code, I think.
But you can't make it your character.
There's Kratos.
Hey,
that's
look,
So
it's
really
me.
good.
the way
Damn.
that it works in Dragon's, wow, that's actually great. The way that it works in Dragon's Dogma is you have your main character, but then you have like a little NPC army. It's almost like an MMO group that you can set up, but they're all NPCs. But the NPCs you get like a lead one, a main one called your main pawn, and you get to like design that one and how it looks and everything. You can share your lead pawn with other players. So like a big thing in Dragon's Dogma
Right.
1 is you can search for like other streamers' pawns, and then you can like
I remember.
play your game with yeah. So that's
I remember playing with
share
other
the
streamers' pawns and
but not the main
cursing their name out loud.
There you
Oh,
go.
they're even
Got it.
taking it a step further. They have featured creators pawns.
Yeah, I saw that.
Maximilian Dude's got one. Asmongold has one. There's a ton of creators. Those are the only two names that I know off the top of my head. There's like 20 or 30 of them that all have their own official sanctioned pawns. I'm trying to find the really ridiculous ones, but they got downvoted for some reason. I don't understand why they would just downvote them when they were the best ones. There's a Pikachu.
Because they weren't horrid enough,
Here we go. This one's good.
or cursed enough.
What about this one, guys? How do you feel about this one?
No, the character on the right is definitely going, kill me,
I'm
kill
gay.
me. My life is pain.
A lot of Geralts. See a lot of Geralts, which makes sense. Julia made.
Oh, someone said they made the Disco Elysium main character.
Yes,
That would be awesome.
I saw
with
that
the look.
one.
Oh, dude. Yes.
Here's just like it just shows you like how crazy you can get with it. You can just make like a goblin creature.
A swamp hag. Oh, super.
That's
I give that one low ratings.
that character's name is Meg Mucklebones. Is what the creator went with on that one. I'm never gonna find the Pikachu.
If I was
one
gonna
is just the
grade that,
best.
I would give that a D. I'd give it 2 Ds probably.
You guys remember?
I knew you'd love it, Dan. Ah,
pretty good.
yeah, we need to have you on the show all the time.
Here's the Weasel from.
Suicide Squad.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
The comment is he killed 27 children. ... The Weasel is one of my favorite characters. And
Oh,
my
man.
God, that's great.
Yeah.
There has to be a King Shark then, right?
Probably. Someone did
Okay.
this one.
I'd say at this point, it'd be more surprising if there wasn't some of these options.
You have this one, a little meme cat. Looks pretty good. He's got a
Aw.
cool little haircut. Yeah. I really wish I could find. Oh, okay. We found the Pikachu. Arguably the most cursed you'll ever see.
Oh my
Oh, God.
But wait,
That should have been the guy in Detective Pikachu.
but wait.
That should have been the guy.
Yeah.
Oh God, that would have been amazing. Just put him in a trench coat with like
Yeah.
a fedora, smoking a cigar.
Wait till you see it
Super
smile.
gruff-
It's
gruff
better.
voice.
Oh,
He looks like the
Pikachu.
creature from It, like but Pikachu.
Pika pika.
oh my lord.
Oh god. Safe to say, it is a
I
well.
sent you the there's a couple that people have posted in my chat that I sent you, JP.
Is it in Discord?
Hold on, let me grab this other one here.
Oh God, did somebody make a Moogle? Oh no.
Oh, I don't know if
That,
that is.
that
I
first one
hope
is the
not.
Disco Elysium guy.
Yeah, there's Disco Elysium guy. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a little
and then
short.
the
that's
second
good.
one, you'll know who the second one is.
Yep. Oh, that's really good. I actually would just
Yeah,
like
right?
that as a
You
wizard.
shall not
Oh,
That would just be awesome to have
That's
as a
great.
wizard in
Damn.
my group. Yeah.
GG.
I think that's enough characters. The character creator is free to download if you want to play it. And
On
then
Steam.
these are here's Terminator. They made the T1000. That looks kind of absurd. But it kind of
a
works.
A little
Dude.
scuffed, but I mean that kind of works a little bit. It
Kinda
does.
works. Yeah.
Julia, I do want to applaud your Giga Chad. Your Giga Chad pawn, holy fuck.
Oh yeah. Julia on her
That
on her
was
Twitter.
good shit, dude.
There's
That was
also
really good
the
shit.
someone made a Lizelle from Baldur's Gate that looks really good.
Yo, damn.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So
that's impressive.
well made.
Even nailed the nose.
yeah.
Jeez, dude.
Well made Lizelle there.
Actual wow.
They look cool. It's the game's gonna be pretty. Oh God. Someone made Todd Howard and Bizarre Field.
Todd the pawn.
There's Jean-Luc Picard there. You know, looks.
Ooh, that was pretty
good.
good.
That's pretty good.
Sorta.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
God, this is a whole man. We could do this.
I
for
know,
3
right?
hours.
oh, there's so many.
I wonder if this character creators, and this is I'd love to hear somebody hear this what I'm about to say
Okay.
without any context.
All right.
I wonder if this character creator will be Dragon Dogma 2's bear sex.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends on if people find this attractive or not.
The people that understand what I say are like, huh, and the other people are like, what in the did he just say?
What about, does that do it for you, Co? Are you into the Chester the
Oh,
Cheeto?
that's
The
that. Oh,
Cheetos Cheetah?
Chester. Okay. No. Okay. So for those wondering the hell I actually meant by that, one of the things that catapulted Baldur's Gate 3 into
Adam
media
Sandler,
fame
do it for you.
was the bear sex stuff. So I'm wondering if this character creator is going to get people talking about Dragon's Dogma 2 that never would have normally. And I wonder if it's going to have like a similar, probably not quite as penetrating, but
I don't know.
it may
That's
be
pretty
a similar-
penetrating. Garfield's pretty attractive there.
pretty good. Pretty good.
It's okay. It's funny to look at just because it's funny to look at, but when you tell me what they were going for, ooh, have that Chester Cheetah fucking bust me up in the fucking Garfield. Ooh,
Zeke, it's
that's
you.
good stuff, dude.
They made you.
Yeah!
It's Eggman.
Eggman.
From
Oh, that's
Sonic.
great.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh man. Yeah, the Dragon's Dogma subreddit and Dragon's Dogma 2 subreddit has I've been scrolling for 10 minutes.
I bet they're so
Yeah.
hype right now. I bet there's like a new post every 30 seconds.
Well, and then like people are saying like, oh man, it's gonna be great to do that. Like those take fucking hours, I'm sure.
Dude,
Some of them.
I took 2 hours yesterday to make my character.
I'm gonna be making mine in a cozy stream. I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
it's so detailed. What I made a lion guy that's massive and the tallest you can make it because you got to have weight in that game so you can carry shit. And then my pawn is going to be the exact same thing but smaller. It's going to be a mini me that follows me
Mini
around.
me.
Oh no!
That's
I
gonna
love
be
it.
great.
Very excited for it. Very excited for it. But yeah, it's there you go. Here's Ichiban Kasuga. It's like
Not bad. The big problem there is
Oh,
that guy is
close.
so much younger than Ichiban. Ichiban's like 40. He's like mid-40s. The guy looks like he's mid-20s, maybe
Okay.
30. But it looks great. The whole beard and everything and the hair.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
God, I want to find one more. There's a Walter White. Walter White looks good. It's got to go.
Ooh,
Coach
that
Jesse.
does look good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah.
Game needs glasses. That's all it's missing.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is that? Oh yeah, just to show you how much. You see how he has two teeth like that? Now that's not an option to just have two teeth. It's an option to go and do every single tooth. You can toggle every tooth in your
Oh.
mouth on or off,
Ooh.
and also change the color of said teeth to show like how
Wow.
crazy it gets. So it's very, very expansive. And it should
Julia,
be cool.
you made Zendaya?
I've seen the Zendaya, yeah, from
Yep.
Dune
Okay.
too. Yeah. Julia's got some pretty ridiculous.
Oh,
posts on her
wow.
Twitter.
Damn, that is pretty close. Yeah. Look at that. Jeez.
Oh, here it is. This-
And there's classic Julia. Okay.
okay.
We're
So
writing
you
this
know
something
you've
horrifying.
got someone made a
Okay.
attractive female companion, and then they made this as well. That's
That
probably the
is
most abhorrent
amazing.
thing I've seen from the character creation.
It looks like something. I can't put my finger in
He's
it.
a dickhead.
on it.
That's what it is.
They're all they
To me-
stand for saying exactly the
That-
joke.
He reminds me of the Shadow King. No one's gonna get this reference, but he reminds me of the Shadow King from Legion. If you've ever seen that show on FX.
Oh yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I immediately saw that and I was like, oh, he's got the thing that wiped out humanity in The Stand. He's got the
Yeah.
Captain Trips, the tube neck.
Sure. Yeah, it's good stuff. Hey Zeke, how far did you get in Sons of the Forest? Did you beat it?
I'm still doing it. I'm still
Okay.
doing it. No, I like from the early access till now, or I mean, it was early access. Okay. Fucking all these terms, man. Alpha, beta, early access, whatever. It was in early access for a year. The last time I played it was in February of last year until the 1.0 release. And I played and saw most of what they had in about 14 hours.
Yeah.
Bunch more stuff. Everything like the stuff that happened quickly in early access doesn't happen as quickly now. If you know who Victoria is, in the early access, it was only a couple of times before you started interacting with it. Like now, like my playthrough now, like I can't like get her to, I can't befriend her, right away. So it's like every time she comes up, I'm like, hey, how you doing? Everything. She's like, she like dances away or whatever.
It
and I'm like,
pisses me off
"Come
how
on!"
accurate
Come
your representation of her was. It was like 1-to-1, and that's frustrating for me to swallow. Yeah.
No, I came up to her slowly with a GPS because I remember from the early access, I'm like, you like these? Here you go. And she's like, like shimmies away. I'm like, God damn it. But other than that, the first thing I fucking noticed about this game
Uh-huh.
was I went into it knowing that I had played through The Forest, played through and beat The Forest original, and then I played through what they had for the early access. The first fucking thing I noticed in this game is right off the bat, the difficulty is fucking difficult. It is like super difficult, like right away.
Were you playing on
the
normal
I'm
settings?
just playing on normal, dude.
Yeah.
I just got my ass
Dude,
kicked.
they attack you
like,
so
for the first
fast.
3 hours. Yeah. Like the first cave I went into, I'm like, these are the basic enemies. They're human sized, human looking ish basic enemies. And I'm like whacking them just as like 5-6 times with this axe, not like a wooden spear. I'm like axe. And I'm like, they slapped me 3 times and I'm like, oh, fucking dead. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So getting through the first cave took me like 3 hours. So I was like, geez, or even more than that, like 3 or 4 hours.
Damn.
But after I got through it, got some upgrades, then it started feeling like more like, okay, I can take care of myself, I can handle myself, and stuff like that. And then the progression came much more smoothly. And then you find the fucking like the golf cart.
Golf
And the
carts.
golf cart's
Yeah,
game changer.
it is.
Just game changer.
It is.
It is your mode of transportation that is so much faster than walking, but not only that, it is your best weapon against everything. It is crazy how resilient and how powerful the fucking golf cart is. Like, don't ever get out of the golf cart if you're in the overworld, overmap. Like, just stay in the fucking golf cart as much as you can until you're absolutely sure that you, like, let's go.
No, that's exactly what we did.
You've
when we played.
run over fucking everybody.
Yeah.
Also, stick to trails. Because it's really frustrating getting around the golf cart, because the golf cart is not like a press the button and you go. It's press the button and you go. And then you get up to full speed.
Yeah.
You know? It's very frustrating when you're running into like trees and shit like that. So be aware of the fucking golf cart trails that they have. And there are many. There are plenty. Sometimes they take a circuitous route to get where you're going, but I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, that's going to be faster than going as the crow flies, you know, because you'll be hitting trees and getting stuck on rocks and shit like that. Just use the trails. That's my biggest tip for that. However, I am enjoying like how the story, there's more story. It's more fleshed out, more little bits and bobs of lore and stuff like that. There are, okay. I've said a lot of nice things. Now I'm going to say some not nice things.
Yes.
The forest is fucking jank, man. There is so much goddamn jank in this game that I'm just screaming and yelling and shit about. The first and foremost being like the first enemies you seek slap you 3 times and you die. You can hit them like 5-6 times with an axe in the face and they still win because reasons.
Because the forest.
Yeah.
Or the sons of the forest, I should say.
Yeah. And I'm just like, God damn, man. Like, maybe have like the first enemy you face, maybe not have them be like a fucking elite mini boss, like level of, because they don't look like elite mini bosses.
No, they're just little pieces of shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, granted, there are some things that look powerful and they fuck you up, and that's fine. But I'm saying, like, if these guys that are your size mostly look human, don't make them like super duper powerful and just whoop your ass like right at the back, because it was really like daunting, and I wanted to shut it off for the first couple of hours. However, they do a good job of like, okay, we kicked your ass for a little bit, here's some stuff that'll make it easier. Like, okay, thank you. So it's a fun game. Like, I'm still playing it. This is her. She's like, huh? No, go away. I don't want it. Like, it's because I had my axe out, I'm sure. Usually I try and put it before. But I'm having a lot of fun with Kelvin. Kelvin is
he's an idiot, but he's good.
He is so great. Like, I love voicing him, and I love like pretending he's like the kid in Walmart, like, Kelvin, you stay by me, you stay where I can see you. You know, and it's just great, just scolding him and all that kind of stuff.
Do you feel like this is a good progression from the first game? Like, it's gotten bigger and better, or worse, or how do you feel?
Yes, it is. It is. I will say that if it feels like a bigger game. However, I will say, like, in the first game, one of the main goals, you have this list of passengers on the plane. So you have like 20, however many things to go out in the world and try and find. This one doesn't have that as much, but it does have a better underlying, like, what's going on story, like a very like mysterious, like you unravel it as you go along. You're like, oh, so this island is actually for this. It presents itself as something, but it's definitely something else. And then you unravel that, and then you get pieces of what I've just been calling the MacGuffin, like, oh shit, what's this? Oh, and then you look in your inventory, it's like, oh, I've got like 1 of 8 pieces of MacGuffin. So now I have to get like all 8 pieces of MacGuffin to do whatever happens later.
Yeah.
So that becomes your like motivation to like, you know, discover what's going on and then maybe eventually get off the island. I don't know. But like if I were to give like new people advice to make your life easier, one, if you can find the time to find a golf cart, first thing you should do is find a golf cart. Second, don't camp outside.
Yeah.
Don't put your tent, like go inside of a cave. Usually at the very beginning of caves is an area with 0 enemies or very few enemies. So set your tent up in the cave, because if you set your tent up in the cave, you have less likely to be attacked at night. Being attacked at night fucking blows.
Yep.
Second, addendum to that, save before you sleep, and then save after you sleep. Because before you sleep, if you get attacked, you'll know like, oh shit, I'm gonna get attacked. Maybe I should move my tent somewhere else. And then
would you say sleeping outside is intense?
Sleeping outside is intense, but more of in lean-tos.
I see.
You do sleep in lean-tos. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, if you want...
There was a fraction of a second, I didn't think Zeke got the joke, and I was like, oh no.
He got it.
But then he got us all. It was good.
He went there.
No, me and Dan are like this,
They're
homie.
simpatico, yeah.
We get it. The other thing, constructing a base, absolutely voluntary. You do not have to do any
I
of
wouldn't
that.
even say it's
That
voluntary.
hurts me.
I would say don't. Like, I would go as far as to say don't. Because when I
would
played it,
honestly say, like,
it was a fucking nightmare. I did not have fun.
If you want to build a base, make sure you are fucking geared up.
Yeah.
To defend that fucking base.
Sure.
Like geared up meaning like you have like trenches and traps and shit like that to like defend said base. Make sure you only try and build during the day. And what I would suggest is if you're gonna build a base, leave that base, go way the fuck somewhere else, and then camp there, and then come back to your base so people don't come fucking destroy it at night.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous, like how little base building matters. It just doesn't matter to me because your backpack is so fucking big that it like I've found myself.
It doesn't make sense how big your backpack is.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
There's so much shit in it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
In the first game, if you're playing solo, building was like extremely tedious. Is it still tedious if you're solo?
Yes.
Like, you need tons of
I don't know.
and stuff.
The only slight difference in 2 is you do have an NPC companion that significantly helps. So in terms of if the tediousness for you was resource gathering, that has gotten a little easier. But if the tedium for you was the complete unnecessary combat and drain of resources with almost nothing given for doing all of that, that's still in the game.
Yeah.
One, Zeke, do you still pick up all the corpses and burn them for bones?
No.
Is that still... No. Don't do that anymore?
No, you do.
No.
We did that in
can.
group play. Yeah, it's how you get bone armor. It's how you craft the bone armor.
Yeah, it was the only way you could keep up with the attacks in the first
Yeah.
game is every single person got burned and harvested for parts, pretty much.
Yeah.
I am never ever lacking for bones, like even without burning them, because
okay.
I'm just running around exploring.
Gotcha.
There's bones.
And
Like
that's the
I'm
same with
always
food
like
and water,
trying
right?
to pick up bones, and they're doing the forest thing, which is like I don't know if it's a signature thing for the forest, but like when you're trying to pick up stuff, you're full of it, just goes pew pew pew.
It just flies away.
Like you're like, okay, look at all these bones, and you pick up like the first 3, and the rest go pew 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 because you're like full of bones. Like you have as many bones as you can carry. So I'm never lacking for bones. But let me talk about armor. Armor is sort of important, but it's also fucking annoying. It is one of the most annoying aspects of the game because instead of dying in 3 hits, you'll get 6, but your armor is all gone. You have to collect all the armor shit and remake it again. So it's fucking tedious to make armor.
Yeah.
Later on in the game, it sticks around longer, but like I only bother making armor when I'm sure that I can keep it a little bit longer. Meaning, like, I stopped altogether making armor until I got a ranged weapon.
Yeah.
Like, until I got a decent ranged weapon, I stopped making armor because all I had was melee, and they would just like, and like 3 pieces of armor. It's like, I spent 10 minutes fucking making that, and now it's just gone.
Yeah.
You can't repair it. It's just gone. So I was like, God fucking damn it. No,
Sounds right.
I'm burning the bodies now. This is you actually like the one time I burned all the bodies because I have 0 armor left because I had leaf armor on, and I took 3 hits and all my leaf armor was gone. So I was like, fuck. And I'm in the middle of like a cave system, so I'm like, I have to make something.
Hey Zeke.
However,
out of
you do
curiosity-
get better armors later on that are much better. Like, there's this thing called creepy armor, which is not really a spoiler, but like you fight like what like I call hot dog finger demons.
Creepers.
Yeah, the hot dog finger demons. Like, if you kill them, you skin them, and that's it. You don't have to create the armor. You just take their skin and slap it on your arm.
Yeah.
That shit's great, and it's good armor. It's much better than the bone armor.
Yeah.
So like you start getting a lot of that, and you're like, fucking man, I spent a long time making leaf and bone armor, and you just don't need to anymore. So like that was a huge gripe. Like, the armor should last a bit longer, or you should be able to repair it. That would be nice. But look at, like I said, like you start like this is why you don't need a base, because your backpack is just chock full of shit.
Yeah.
And you almost always, like, after a certain amount of time, you almost always have the full amount of any item that you're picking up, except for tape. Oh my God. Tape is the hottest commodity. It's worth more than fucking gold lace fucking truffles. It is seriously like, you use tape for literally everything useful, and it's the one thing you need more than anything, because it's tape. It binds everything together.
Gotta
What
use
Like,
they
you
tape.
need it for
should have
armor,
done-
you need it for bombs, you need it for, just all kinds of shit. So tape is like the one thing you're always out of.
And what they should have done is made it that one item wasn't tape, but something that you could mass produce at a base.
Yeah.
And it would have been like,
Mhm.
oh, cool, a reason to base
I'm right
build.
there with you.
One thing I will say though, Zeke, is I do love that you went on like a solid 5-minute rant about armor being killed in 3 hits, and then you were like, yeah, and I just keep making this armor out of leaves, and it's like, maybe that's your.
it's
No, the reason why you make leaf armor, and I'm not kidding you, is because in order to collect leaves, you just have to hit bushes. So it's just super fast, just convenience.
I completely agree.
Like, to make bone armor, you have to either have to like go out and get bones, or you have to burn bodies, and burning like takes time. So you're just sitting there, and the limit for leaves in your inventory drastically higher than your limit for bones. You get 14 bones in your inventory, and it takes 4 to make 1 piece of bone armor. Leaves, you can have hundreds of fucking leaves, and you're just popping out leaf armor. Just super easy and fucking convenient. Even though it's like half as good, it's still twice as easy to make. So it's like, balances out.
Yeah.
But I will say, the atmosphere, I love it.
It's fun when you get into the
the-
caves. Like, it's creepy.
Yeah, when you get
Oh,
into
yeah.
the cave system and you discover like most every cave in the forest and in Sons of the Forest, or most every like cave or cave system has like 1 or 2 like unique items that you like. Sometimes you need them to progress, like a shovel or a scuba set. Like, those things, like, very rewarding once you're like, oh, I fought my way through this fucking thing. Here we go, a shovel, and you're like, I can make a rudimentary one, like Zeke, me personally, I can make a rudimentary shovel in a forest without having to find one. I bet.
Yeah, but Zeke, you
But
could
you have
make
to find
that
a military shovel to make it
You
work.
need them exactly. See, I'm glad you get it.
There you go.
But I get it for progression. Like, progression is locked behind like key items, and that's totally understandable.
Yep.
But once you start getting into the facilities of the forest, And this is not a spoiler because because this island is owned by rich people and rich people come here to do vacation shit and stuff like that. So there's like rich people shit there. So you get into the facilities and stuff, and that's when the story really starts to like blossom and open up to you. You get these little pieces of lore here and there. You pick up like magazine articles or like little notes and shit. You're like, oh fuck, so this is what's actually going on here. And that's cool. And that's what excites me.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't bother with base building or anything like that. And I just went out and explored. And that's what I mean. Like, if I had a recommendation, that's what I would recommend. Like, don't bother with base building. Get a tarp and a stick, like one tarp, one stick. Take it with you, set it up, save, sleep, save again, break it down, grab it. That reminds me. One other thing. And this is just a silly fucking thing.
Yeah.
Lay it on me.
They make it so like the hitboxes for shit to like break down, pick up. Like you throw a spear, you kill an animal, you go up to the animal, and you're like, I'm gonna pick up my fucking spear. How the fuck do I pick up my fucking spear?
First game's pretty bad
Make the
about that.
fucking
too.
hitboxes for shit you want. Make it easy. Why do you make it so hard to pick up your shit? And then when you want to break down your tent, because you break it down and take it with you, the tarp and the stick, you're like, where's the fucking, okay, I have the sleep and the save, those pop up right. Where's the fucking breakdown button? And you realize that to sleep, you hold E. Or excuse me, to save, you hold E. To sleep, you hold Z. To break down your tent, you hold C. You can put it right next to the other fucking commands. It's a different key. You shouldn't have to walk around the fucking thing to do it. And you
Tell
do
me
that
how you really
a lot.
feel, Zeke.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you do that a lot, so it becomes really annoying that you have to like hunt around for the place to fucking break down your tent.
Yeah. Don't ever play.
And the
Yeah.
reason why it
And
gets
someone
so
in my chat's
animated
pointing
about it
out,
is-
don't ever play Tarkov, Zeke. Don't ever play Tarkov.
Oh, God. Dude, even Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has some hotkey tomfoolery in it. You go into the customize your party thing, and all the buttons on the bottom right are what you can do. Some of them, like for some of the options, but then on the top left, there's 2 other buttons for establishing a leader and changing the party.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's like, no. The industry standard is you put all the stuff you can do on the bottom right, and you have some stuff there, but then why do you have those 2 up there?
Yeah.
What, man?
Yeah.
This is not, no. Like, why would you do that? Why? It doesn't make any sense.
I thought you were going to mention the
may
chocobo smelling thing, because I hate how that controls.
Oh, that's okay. So
Yeah.
that's weird until you figure it out.
Well, it'll
And the
auto
thing-
do it, right? Like it'll auto
No,
adjust.
you need to point. It goes so much faster if you point the chocobo.
Oh no, I'm doing that. I'm
That's-
talking about when you go to get the item. If you're like not directly
Oh,
on
yeah,
the item, yeah.
Move just a little too far.
The fact that the chocobos are tank controls, essentially.
Yes.
Like they have a heart, and they can't turn in place. They turn
Yep.
like at a weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Zeke, your demonstration.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, as far as buttons go, I've railed against this before, but I'll bring it up. I'll keep fucking bringing it up
Let's hear it.
until the fucking paradigm shifts, because all of the buttons on this side, and then you're like, and this is in the forest. What do I want to bring out? What button would you use to bring out a light of any sort in a game? What button is
Gonna
universally
go with
accepted?
L.
L.
No. Obviously,
L, right? It's on this side. It's on the fucking other side of the fucking keyboard of your fucking hand here. You can rebind it, but why in the fuck? And F is not being used for anything. It is unbound in the game.
Well, it's a light. It's not a flashlight, Zeke. It's a light because you need all
Very
sorts
good point.
of light.
And people argue that all the time, like, oh, I is for inventory, M is for map, L
Oh,
for
it pisses
light.
me
Like,
off when I go to press I and it doesn't work, but then you press B for bag and bag does work. That actually frustrates me. That's a
Yeah.
little bit of a
It's-
tilter.
Well, listen. Anybody who says like, oh, it makes sense. It's I for inventory. It's like, W does not stand for walk forward. I guarantee you. S does not stand for slip back. A doesn't stand for I'm gonna go left or whatever the fuck, you know? We just bust that shit up
Now-
right now.
I'm gonna do
Now
a
it
diddy
does.
deliver right.
Now it does. A
know-
stands
you know-
for I'm gonna go left.
You know what the
Right,
funniest? You know what the
I don't
funniest
know-
part
I
about
don't
this
know
is?
how
to
to
the
make it
right.
left.
So here's what the best part about this is. WASD used to not be how you moved around.
Right.
It was the arrow keys because that was arrow forward, arrow back. They moved it to WASD so you'd have more keys around it that you'd be able to interact with.
Yeah.
And then they put flashlight on the other end of the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like we kind of like took a nice 2-step forward and then just kind of took
No,
3
I-
jumps back.
It just boggles my fucking mind. Even with, you know, like, thankfully, most games have rebindable keys.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're still binding this shit to like the opposite side of the keyboard that fucking you have. I don't care
Well,
who
no,
you
no, no.
are, unless you're fucking like fucking basketball, like forward or something. Your fingers aren't long enough. You have to pick up your hand and put it on the fucking either one, the mouse or the other left hand. Pick it up and fucking hit that key while you're in
You
the
know,
middle of shit. You're like, oh my god, it's so dark. I need my light. Oh, I'm
Just
dead.
make your thumb stretch
But
really far.
here's the worst part about this, Zeke, is that there's no question you're right. There's no question you're angry. And there's no question that people feel the same way you do. But I guarantee you, if they had made the flashlight not L and made it like F or something, there would be more people complaining that it wasn't the L they were looking for.
Nope.
I
No.
almost promise you.
No.
When you have established
When
keys,
there's established
like
keys, I
when
think
there's
you
like
have to-
established keys into
No.
established thing, that'd be like if somebody put crouch on N instead of C. Like literally everyone would just they would
Those
burn
are-
the building down. To
that
the
ga- that's called Tarkov.
Of course, it, because that is on the other side of the keyboard.
No, I will say that I bet you, and the reason I say this is because what you're saying is obvious. What you're saying is obvious. You'd want every hotkey easy to reach and close to your controls, right? That makes sense. That's obvious. That makes sense. So there has to be good reasons that they don't do that. It can't be just because that's how everyone else does it. I would bet you that if we asked indie devs why they keep the hotkeys, they would have something to add to this conversation that we're not thinking. I almost guarantee. Because I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you.
I will bet you it's because that's the way it always was. That is their reason. I will bet you fucking money that I for inventory is because it's the way it always was.
Here's the thing. I'm not
Because-
disagreeing with you though. My argument though is that I bet the way it's always was has ramifications that we're not thinking about. What I'm saying is I think that it's done that way and still done that way, not necessarily just because it's inconvenient in the way it's done. I'm guessing, as I don't know them, as I am in your camp, but I'm guessing there's stuff we're not thinking about here. That's my
Now-
guess.
I will concede that if every single key around my left hand on the WASD is already bound to something, I will concede that sometimes you need to put it on other things. But most of the time, and I've played a lot of games and I've had to rebind a lot of keys, 2,000 plus games in my Steam library. Not this is just facts for you to know that I've played a lot of games. Most of the games, 95% of them, are not bound around that. And they still put inventory on I and light on L. And it's just fucking stupid.
All I know is that when they call a flashlight a torch and make it the T button, I baby rage.
That is
That's
true.
me. I
You
write
really?
posts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's
Pretty
it's
chill.
I don't
not a
mind
torch,
that.
it's a
I can use
flashlight.
the T key without moving my palm. T's fine. Put it on T, put it on F, put it on G. I mean, half the fucking keyboard is available to you. You have way less than that on a controller.
I wonder if it's just because most of the time they want to be able to put the hotkey like as a different color in the name of whatever the feature is. And like you couldn't, I mean, I guess you could put parentheses with the hotkey after it, but I mean, I think there is something to be said with the argument that it's just like they always use letters of the words. And I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it obviously doesn't work for WASD, but you know, for everything else, it just kind of, your brain intuitively thinks, how do I get to this feature? It's spelled like this. Let me hit the button that I think might work for that, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, though. We changed the paradigm with W for walk forward. Like, W doesn't stand for anything. A doesn't stand for anything. D doesn't stand for left or right. We changed the paradigm with that. I'm trying to change the paradigm with like I for inventory because it makes sense. Make it more convenient. I don't give a fuck if it
Zeke's
makes
leading
sense.
the charge.
I'm just saying.
Get behind
Oh
him.
shit.
Would you want, here's my question, and this is the last thing I'll say, and this is just interesting to talk about, it's just random game theory stuff. Would you rather have it that every game used layouts that make sense, or that every single, that makes sense from a I for inventory, L for like kind of thing, or that you have to relearn what every single key does outside of WASD for every game you play, because there's no arbitrary keys of any kind?
Do you see how the keyboard is laid out? It's not in alphabetical order, right?
Correct.
That's my
I
argument.
just mean.
We
if you
will
make
learn.
it
It's way more
if you-
convenient the way it's
That's
laid
true.
out now because of how words work. Like how
How do you
English
crouch?
works. Right?
How do you
Crouch is C or control, and that's just fucking coincidental.
Okay, sure. So for every game you crouch in,
It's semantics. You could easily say, "Oh, it's
No.
H for haunch." It's H for haunch.
my question is
That's
though, my
why
question
it's
is,
on H, always.
would you want the first thing you do in every single game to open up the controls and see where arbitrary functions are on arbitrary things, and then try to remember where those are
Ask
without
yourself
knowing
if you do
I
that.
for inventory,
Ask
L for
yourself
log?
if you do that anyway.
I
I do
generally
that
don't go to the
anyway.
controls.
I look at
unless
controls.
Funny enough,
anyway.
I
look at
generally don't go to
controls
the
at all.
controls until I can't do something I can normally do.
Same.
Then I go and look at the
Same.
controls.
That's all
Because
right. Let's
there's a
make it fucking
standardized key
universal.
set for everything.
I am all for making it universal,
Like L on
but
flashlight?
universally convenient. Meaning, I don't care if inventory is tab, Z, B. I don't give a fuck. Tilde,
It's tilde.
left hand, right hand mouse, left hand, left side of the keyboard. All of them. Let's just make it one thing and stay with that forever.
Okay.
We don't even use the tilde key. It's right fucking there. Let's use it for something.
Oh, I rebind
It's
tilde all the
it's
time.
almost never bound
Tilde's great.
in games that don't have a lot of controls, but it's still I for inventory. Fuck you.
Oh god, Zeke, do you have D&D? Do you need to do shoutouts?
Yes, I do have to.
Oh, it's
play.
403. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Okay.
you know,
All right. Do some
thank you,
shoutouts.
Dan.
Zeke.
Thank you.
Someone in my
Thank you,
chat
JP.
named Nice Life goes, please stop screaming.
On that note, Zeke, where can people check you out? Gonna get out of here. Go do your D&D.
Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. My name is Ezekiel30. You can find me at / Ezekiel_I scream at my chat, usually starting at 10 a.m. Pacific every day. And I will be doing, I have a 100-month game coming up on the 12th. So this Tuesday, doing Dust, an Elysian Tale for the artist formerly known as Xynomac. And then I'm going to be playing The Forest Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, I'm playing Theatrhythm on the Switch for Emperor Mythos' 100 month. So a lot of fun stuff coming up this week. I got Blade Runner right now, so I'm going to take off. Thank you guys for being here, and I will see you next time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Zeke. Have fun with those 2 games. Bye. Let's do some more shoutouts. Dan, we didn't get to talk about Supermarket Simulator. I think you're a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to ring groceries, stock shelves, and not get paid for it, it's a great game.
Yep.
It is just a super fun simulator if you like business sims.
It's pretty good.
On paper, it sounds boring, but when you play it, you just find yourself playing for hours and hours without realizing
I was
it.
going to say, I think Dan just came up with their catchphrase. Like, do you want to stock shelves and work in a supermarket but not get paid for it? Well, give us some money because we got the answer for you.
It's great, man. You are to put it in perspective. You start out with a singular set of shelves in this game, and Dan has multiple freezers, multiple shelves. How many registers you got? 3?
2 registers.
Okay.
Run by Bill 1 and Bill 2. They're the same
Okay.
person.
Yeah, he's
just
got some
clones.
AI running the. Yeah, man, this is you got a supermarket here.
I know. Like
Yeah.
And it's all made by one guy. He's making it by himself, and it's
I didn't know that.
very
Wow.
good start. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the
Do you
updates
have,
are going to
like-
be a little slow.
Do you
But
have
yeah,
goals that you're doing and like things you're working towards, or is it just like
You got
run
it.
the
There's
best
upgrades and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Upgrade for you can expand your storage room, expand your main shop area, buy more shelves, restock, buy more licenses, they'll get more products. So there's a progression system. And it's none of it is like done or super balanced yet. So it's like a work in progress. But what they have right now is really fun, and it just somehow hours fly by when you're playing it. And it's only $13. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. It's also a really easy way to upset your chat when you play this, and that's what they do for a job.
Yeah.
Because you're going to
Uh-huh.
get commented about it nonstop. You're fucking playing a game of what I do every goddamn day.
You could go and do this at a store. Why are you playing it?
Yeah, I got that a
There's
lot.
no real people in this game to complain. That's the best part. People walk
Yeah.
in, they buy
The
stuff,
real
and they
question: why did you come home from work just to watch more work, huh?
leave.
Oh, I had
What are you doing?
I had
What are
someone
you
that joined
doing?
the stream was like, I just finished stocking overnight, and now I'm watching you stock your own fucking store in a video game. What the fuck am I doing? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Stock in real life a little bit harder. You don't just hold down a button
yeah.
and you're getting paid real money, and it's something about simulating real work somehow makes fun games. I don't know how it
guess.
works sometimes, but it does.
Yeah.
They gamify it perfectly, and it feels great.
Yeah. And then the only other two shoutouts I have game wise, No Rest for the Wicked. I think we all played that. I think we all enjoyed
Game's
that.
solid.
Yeah. Looking
Super
forward to that
solid.
game.
Yep.
I think it's early access. What was April 18th, I think?
April
is-
18th.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll all be very much into that. And then I played a little bit of Unicorn Overlord, which sounds like the most anime game you can think of. It's basically ogre battle, done up by the people that made 13 Sentinels. Funny enough, the Vanillaware
I
folks.
like it.
It's good. It's I've been playing a lot off stream. It's like an auto battler. I liken it to an auto battler tactics game, I guess is how you would say it. Like you don't actively choose what you're doing in a fight, but you do set up everything for the fight. And so then you like go into it and it just, yeah, it's fun.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. It's
Is it
also
voice acted?
It's like the beginning of it was like 75-25 voice acted. They unfortunately, just like what happened with 13 Sentinels, they ran out of money when they were developing the game. So I think a lot
Damn,
of that
again.
stuff, yeah,
It's very unfortunate.
yeah. I think a lot of that stuff just got cut. But the art, if you want to see 5 seconds of it, it's Vanillaware. Like it's absolutely gorgeous looking. That's a little bit of the
Oh, that's
combat.
13
beautiful.
Sentinels was relatively successful, wasn't it? Oh, that does-
I think so. Like it seems like it was. It seems like it was game of the year for so many people when that.
I feel like they need a new budget guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Like
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
to go
Having
from a
voice
really
acting
successful
makes it
game
so
into
much more
running out of
streamable.
money again.
Yeah.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny enough, when you said that, I like. There's a part of me that's been thinking about, maybe when I finish one of these big RPGs, I'll check it out. But if it's not fully voice acted, these games are so dialogue heavy.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's
It's
only
like
getting worse as you
80-20.
keep playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might be right. I've only played the first 2 to 3 hours, and it might be like front loaded with voice acting, and then that might go away that's typically how it goes. As you get deeper into the story, it kind of starts to be less and less voice acted. But there's a demo for this. It's out on everything but the PC. And I think the demo is like 8 hours worth of content. So if you're looking to
Oh wow.
to dive into it, get the demo. Don't spend any money. Yeah. Oh, and Octopimp voices character in the game, so support friends of the stream.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
JP, I actually gotta go. Do you want me to?
Yeah. Do some
Rashik?
shout outs.
Okay, cool. As always, thank you guys so much. A huge special shout out to Dan's Gaming. Always a pleasure spending time with you, Mr. Dan. Thank you for joining us today. And good luck in your Final Fantasy VII Rebirth playthrough. My name is Ko. Hi. You're not going to want to watch me because I'm just playing Rebirth and Yakuza. Nobody wants to watch those, but I'm going to be enjoying them if you want to stop by the channel. Next big thing for us is probably going to be Dragon's Dogma 2. We may try to slide in some more Pacific Drive, which I do want to finish. And then we've got just a bunch of other here and there things we're working on. So really appreciate you guys that are coming by and watching, and hope to see you next week, potentially, for more funny games. Thanks for the fun.
Fantastic. Have a good one. I think you're going to depart, because we are over.
Bye, guys.
No, Dan, you get to do shoutouts. You're not going anywhere. Dan, shoutouts.
Hi, I'm Dan's Gaming. I'm currently running a supermarket. If you want to stop by, I'll be streaming that later today. Stream every day at 10 a.m. Eastern on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube now, so everywhere. Thanks for having me on the show, Zeke, JP, and Co. You guys are awesome, and I love being on the show, so thank you for inviting me. And hope we can talk about Dragon's Dogma 2 later, after that game comes out. And thanks for having me on the show again.
Yep. Thanks for being here. They both have this. I don't like Co's blonde hair. I'm going to be honest.
I know it doesn't feel right. It just feels wrong.
He looks like that crazy uncle that like is into hard drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. It feels like someone snatched his body and put a replacement. And we got to believe that he's not a synth like in Fallout 4. We know he's a synth, but he's trying to pretend like he's not a synth. Something's off.
Yeah. It's too orange. He left the dye in too long.
Yeah.
It's all right. It'll go back in like a couple months. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching Drop Frames. I think we're back next week. I don't see why we wouldn't be. It will be a slower week though in terms of game releases. Everything's kind of died down until Dragon's Dogma. So that's out on the 22nd, which means
Hair doesn't like you either.
Whoa!
He came alive.
Whoa!
No.
Whoa!
That's like in a horror movie where like the statue suddenly comes alive.
Yeah, I don't like
again.
that. Like, keep an eye on him, Dan. I don't want him to come back alive.
Yeah.
If you don't,
like Lethal Company.
you have to keep looking at him, or he'll come back alive. Jesus Christ!
Damn.
That was scary. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye. Keep an eye on him.